fielder John Fishel, and pitcher Eddie Delzer all helped snatch the title away from Texas. It was a sweet victory for Augie Garrido and the Titans. And last year, the Arizona Wildcats raised their hands in celebration again. Their power was too much for Florida State. Now it's time to find new heroes and a new champion as the 1987 College World Series begins today.
Rosenblatt Stadium in Omaha, Nebraska. Welcome to the Diet Coke pregame show. Game 1 of the 87 College World Series. The Sun Devils of Arizona State versus the Cowboys of Oklahoma State. Brought to you by Diet Coke. You're gonna drink it just for the taste of it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Omaha, Nebraska for the 1987 College World Series. I'm Tim Brando, your host for the next week or so, and we begin with two teams, Arizona State and Oklahoma State, that have truly been here before. For Arizona State, their first trip since 1984, and for Oklahoma State, our record 7th consecutive College World Series entrance. Now, there is an underlying personal story that we'll be following through this first game, the story of Robin Ventura, who is on some hitting streak, 56. That number sounds familiar to hitting streaks, doesn't it? An NCAA record, and now, of course, going after 57. But, Robin, you've really downplayed that for the sake of this club coming into the 7th consecutive College World Series.
Yeah, I think it's important because going into our Big 8 tournament, it was a big deal because of the streak. It was at the point where I was going to break it, and it's kind of been out in the front, and I think it really should be back behind the team and what they're doing.
Now, have you noticed since you got on the streak, Robin, that the pitchers have worked you any differently?
I don't know. Sometimes I get some better pitches because Jimmy Iflin and Jim Berrigan are starting to swing the bat a little bit better. So, I mean, in a way, they really don't want to walk me because that's, in a way, the crowd kind of gets into that. Yeah. But, you know, it's kind of helped me out. It's made me feel a lot better.
Well, congratulations on the streak and best of luck in the series.
Thanks.
All right, Robin Ventura. Now, there are many good baseball, great baseball teams at this College World Series. Let's now take a look at all of them. We begin on the Bayou, where the LSU Tigers are here for the 2nd straight season under Skip Bertman, and again relying on a strong pitching staff, anchored by left-hander Greg Patterson. Leading hitter Joey Bell is out of this series, but his twin brother Terry and the rest of the Tigers hope to pick up the slack this year. The state of Florida again produced a World Series team. Mongo, the mascot, had a lot to cheer about in Tallahassee this season, and why not? FSU has won 50 games or more the last 8 seasons. The Seminoles rode the arm of right-hander Richie Lewis to Omaha this year. Lewis was instrumental with both his breaking ball and his fastball. The Seminoles were runners-up in last year's College World Series. They want to take the extra step in '87. In Austin, Texas, fans, even the young ones, have come to count on an early June in Omaha. And Cliff Gustafson's Longhorns are always a threat. The program has seen 24 College World Series appearances. Shortstop Kobe Curlin helped the Longhorns here this year with his triple against Oklahoma. As in last week's regional, the Longhorns made it to another College World Series. Longtime Longhorn rival Arkansas is back to the College World Series. The Hawks fans have had plenty to cheer about this year as the Razorbacks have won 50 games. Shortstop Mike Cisco is one of 5 Arkansas players that hit over 300. Out west, Mark Marquis is back at the College World Series for a 4th time in 11 seasons at Stanford. Right-hander Jack McDowell is one reason why. The Cardinals have never had an easy time coming out of the Power Pack Pac-10. But they're ready now with strong hitting in the regionals, making their way to the 87 series. In fact, they did their hitting with more than just their bats. The Southeastern Conference's 2nd entry in the series is Georgia, led by the versatile talent of Derek Lilliquist. The lefty had a 2.19 ERA, and he also led the Bulldogs in home runs and RBIs, and led Georgia to its first ever College World Series. The field is as strong as ever for the 1987 College World Series from around the country. To further enhance just how strong this tournament is, 5 of the 8 teams were in the preseason top 10 when the season got underway. We'll meet the gentleman calling our first game when we return. Welcome back to Omaha, Nebraska, everyone. 8 years ESPN has been here with its coverage, and for 4 of those years, Sam Rosen has been here for the call. And in his second appearance, Jim Kaat, who today looks as slick as he did when he was fielding ground balls on the mound for 25 years. Let's get their thoughts now.
Thank you, Tim, and it's a pleasure to be back with you once again for the College World Series. If there is a surprise team in this series, Jim, I think it could be Arizona State, who hasn't been in the World Series the last 2 years. They really bounced back this year.
Well, Sam, what a great coaching job by Jim Brock. You know, no glamour names this year like Oddibe McDowell or Bob Horner or Barry Bonds, but he's done it with a group of overachievers. Because of NCAA restrictions, he has no players on full scholarship. And I'll tell you, they come into this tournament on peak performance. They swept through the regional in 4 straight. They're ready.
Oklahoma State, a familiar team in this College World Series, a record 7th straight appearance. Now, they've had a setback. It's been just announced that their starting center fielder and leadoff hitter Anthony Blackman has been suspended for 2 games because of an incident in the Mideast Regional where he made an obscene gesture to the crowd following alleged racial insults that were thrown at him. Now, they'll miss him in this series.
Well, there's no question they're going to miss him as an offensive player. He's got over 40 stolen bases, 63 RBIs, and he feels very badly about the incident. It's a shame it happened. But Oklahoma State has a lot of offensive weapons. One of them, of course, the most prolific offensive player in college baseball. You just saw the interview with him, Robin Ventura. During that streak that you're looking at, he has 20 of his 21 home runs and has knocked in over 85 runs. So they've got a lot of offense. But whenever you talk about Oklahoma State, you mention pitching, and all the scouts around the College World Series talk about the great pitching prospects, but they seldom mention Oklahoma State. That's where they need production if they're going to win this tournament.
Oklahoma State will go with a sophomore right-hander, Pat Hope, who is 11-2 this year. He walks very few people. Oklahoma State and Arizona State coming up. Right now, let's go back to Tim Brando.
All right, Sam and Jim, thank you very much. Arizona State and Oklahoma State coming up, another in a long line of memorable meetings in the College World Series. We'll meet the starting lineups in just a moment. The Diet Coke pregame show has been brought to you by Diet Coke. You're going to drink it just for the taste of it.
Welcome to Game 1 of the 1987 College World Series as Arizona State takes on Oklahoma State. Let's take a look at the lineup for the Arizona State Sun Devils, brought to you by Wilson, the official ball of the NCAA Championship. The Arizona State Sun Devils, 40-25, are coached by Jim Brock in his 16th season. This is his 10th College World Series appearance. He's won 2 championships. Leading off is the shortstop, Mike Benjamin, a senior from Norwalk, California. He was the MVP of the West 2 Regional. Batting second, the second baseman, Tim Esme, a senior from Scottsdale, Arizona. He was 7 for 19 in the regional. Batting third, the first baseman, Ted Dyson, a senior from Tucson, Arizona. He's had 15 home runs and 49 RBIs in 48 games this season. Batting fourth, the right fielder, Dan Rumsey, a sophomore from San Diego. He's hitting .326. Batting fifth, the designated hitter, Tony Mattia, a senior from Scottsdale, Arizona. He leads the team with 21 homers and 61 RBIs. Batting sixth, the catcher, Tim Spear, a junior from Waco, Texas. He's second on the team with a .331 batting average. Batting seventh, the left fielder, Mike Barola, a sophomore from Phoenix. He has 13 homers and 44 RBIs. Batting eighth, third baseman Bob Dombrowski, a junior from Scottsdale, Arizona, a fine fielder. He hit .375 in the regional. And batting ninth, the center fielder John Finn, a sophomore, voted most improved player on the team in 1987.
All right, there's the Cowboy defense. In left field, Ray Ortiz. In center, Mick Ward. Over in right field, Benny Castillo. At third base, Robin Ventura. Monty Ferris at short. Brad Beanblossom is the second baseman. Jimmy Berrigan at first. Adam Smith behind the plate, and on the mound, the big right-hander, Pat Hope. And when I say big, 6'5", 220. Better than average fastball. He'll show you a knuckle curve, a slider, and a good changeup that we'll talk about during the game. He's the best the Cowboys have to offer in this first game.
He has come on strong, and in the regional, the Mid-East Regional, he was the MVP, pitching 2 complete game victories and coming on to get the final out in the championship game and picking up a save. Pat Hope will pitch to Mike Benjamin. And Mike Benjamin is the all-everything for Arizona State. This year has had an outstanding year from Norwalk, California. Leads the team in 8 offensive categories. First pitch of the World Series misses. Ball 1. Mike Benjamin coming in with a .333 batting average. He was the MVP of the West 2 Regional. Has an 8-game hitting streak going. Down low. In talking to the Oklahoma State people, they feel that Pat Hope needs a liberal strike zone from the umpire.
And that home plate umpire is Hank Roundtree. Be interesting to see how he calls it.
Missed outside. He's 3-0 to Benjamin.
I think that's the key in any championship competition. You get down to the World Series on any level or championship baseball games. If you get an umpire with a tight zone, it can have an adverse effect on a pitcher's, of course, from what they've experienced through the season.
That's a good fastball. It's 3-1. The home plate umpire is Hank Roundtree in his 7th College World Series. The first base umpire is Bill Rosenberry, his 2nd World Series. Randy Crystal at 2nd, his 6th series, and Bob Nelson is the 3rd base umpire, his 2nd World Series. On the outside corner, and that looked like a pitcher's umpire.
That's exactly what you were talking about, Sam. That's the pitch that the pitchers are going to have because this is such an offensive game these days, and all the clubs that have come here are a great offensive team. Pitchers are going to need those corner calls.
Count is full on the leadoff man, Mike Benjamin. On the outside corner, Benjamin did not swing the bat. Took 6 pitches. The first 3 were balls. The next 3 are strikes. And strikeout number 1 for Pat Hope.
Well, as you look at Gary Ward nod his approval, you see a little good morning, good afternoon, and good night from Pat Hope right on the outside corner. And as Sam mentioned, pitchers pitch, pitchers call.
1 man out. And here is Tim Esme, second baseman. Slider on the outside corner for Arizona State. The coaches, Jeff Barton, who was the equipment manager last year. Jeff Pentland coaches at 3rd. The head man, Jim Brock, is in the dugout. Count is 1-1 on the senior second baseman, Tim Esme. Takes a 7-game hitting streak into this game. Took a little off that pitch. It's 2-1.
That was that good changeup that we talked about, that Hope. If he pitches effectively today, you'll see a lot of that pitch.
Up high with a fastball. Hope working from behind early in the ball game. Bright sunny day here in Omaha, Nebraska to start the College World Series. Temperature in the mid-70s. Breeze blowing out, as it does most of the time. Fastball foul back, and the count is full on Tim Esme, second baseman. There you see the breeze blowing out here at Rosenblatt Stadium. Balls were carrying well in batting practice. Full count pitch to Esme. Little low, and Esme draws a walk. First base runner on the ball game for Arizona State. With 1 man out. Pat Hope has been struggling with his control a little bit. Big field here at Rosenblatt Stadium. 343 down the lines, 370. And the power alleys, that's okay. Really deep to center field. Long poke, 420 straight away. Ted Dyson, the first baseman, senior from Tucson, Arizona. Now, Dyson broke his hand early in the season, missed the first 17 games. Since he's come back, he's played 48 games,
He's had 15 homers and 49 RBIs. The ball getting away from Adam Smith, and Esme goes down to second. That'll be a pass ball charged to Adam Smith. One strike.
Adam Smith, a good defensive catcher. Let's see what happened, whether he got crossed up. No, he just missed a very catchable ball right there. I think maybe the swing got in his way a little bit, but a ball that should have been caught.
That change up in the dirt blocked nicely this time by Smith. Runner at second is Tim Esme with one man out here in the top half of the first inning. Adam Smith has been a workhorse for Oklahoma State behind the plate this season. Dyson with good power comes into the ball game hitting .272. Hits that one foul back into the crowd. Arizona State sweeping through the West 2 Regional with wins over Southwest Missouri State, UCLA, Pepperdine, and then UCLA again. And that's not easy to do. UCLA had a fine team. Change up on the ground in the hole. Berrigan ranging wide. The throw to Hope. Threw it away. Ball bounces into the dugout and the run scores. Berrigan seemed to slip when he made that throw as he turned to throw and threw it into the dirt and past the pitcher Pat Hope covering on the play. Error to Berrigan as the throw goes into the dugout and Arizona State takes the lead.
But Jimmy Berrigan will get the error, but right here, Pat Hope very slow getting off the mound. See all the time he's got right there now. Even though he slipped, Hope is not even in your picture yet. He should have been much closer to first base.
And here's Esme taking a look. The ball heading for the dugout. Esme goes in to score. Dan Rumsey, the right fielder, steps in with a run in and a runner at second. Now Berrigan is an outstanding fielder at first base, but with a left-handed batter up, I thought the second baseman Bean Blossom might have been able to handle that ball more easily, make an easier throw to first base. Good pitch from Hope to Dan Rumsey, a sophomore from San Diego, California. He's third on the team in hitting with a .326 batting average.
You make a good point, Sam, but all pitchers love to see a first baseman that tries to play the ball and not run to the bag.
On the ground up the middle, Monty Ferris ranges over, makes the throw to first in time, and the runner moves up to third. That's Ted Dyson at third with two men out.
See, Pat Hope really has nobody to blame but himself on that particular error. You see right there, he's not in your picture yet. Now, Berrigan makes a mistake by leading him before he gets there, but Hope should have gotten off the mound. Watching from overhead here, you could see he did not get a quick break off the mound, just too late in getting there, which is a common error that pitchers make, especially big guys.
And here's a big guy, Tony Mattia. Swings and misses at a fastball. Mattia, the designated hitter, is the leading home run and RBI man for Arizona State. Also leads in strikeouts, so it's usually home run or strikeout. He struck out 71 times this season, but he has 21 home runs and is hitting .317. And Hope, after struggling with control on the first two hitters, has started to get ahead of the last couple. Dyson, the runner at third with two men out, a run in for Arizona State here in the top half of the first inning. 0-2 to Mattia. Just missed the outside corner.
Sam, seems like Arizona State, they've either got the guys like Mattia that are 6'1", 230, or the Benjamins and the Esmes, 5'6", 140, 5'10", 159. No in between.
Got him. Two strikeouts for Pat Hope in the top half of the first inning, but Arizona State scores an unearned run. We go to the bottom half of the first inning. Oklahoma State coming to bat. Let's take a look at their batting order. Brought to you by Wilson, the official ball of the NCAA championship. The Cowboys of Oklahoma State are coached by Gary Ward. In his 10th season, this is his 7th straight College World Series appearance. Leading off, second baseman Brad Beanblossom, a freshman who's hitting .319 and has stolen 23 bases. Batting second, the left fielder Ray Ortiz, a freshman who's hitting .377 with 18 home runs. Batting third, the third baseman Robin Ventura, the hitting machine, who was the leading hitter in last year's College World Series. Batting fourth, the designated hitter Jim Ifland, a senior. He's hitting .404 with 86 RBIs.
Batting fifth, the first baseman, Jimmy Berrigan, a senior. This is his third College World Series. He's hitting .360. Batting sixth, the shortstop, Monty Ferris, who leads the team with 23 home runs. Batting seventh, the catcher, Adam Smith, a junior. He was the All-Big 8 catcher this season. Batting eighth, the right fielder, Benny Castillo, a junior. He was the all-tournament outfielder in the Mid-East Regional and had 2 game-winning RBIs. And batting ninth, center fielder Mick Ward, a freshman who's hitting .469 as a part-time player this season.
And defensively for the Sun Devils, Mike Barola in left, John Finn, the center fielder, Dan Rumsey in right, and over at third, Bob Dombrowski. Mike Benjamin, the shortstop, Tim Esme, the second baseman, Ted Dyson at first. Behind the plate is Tim Spear, and on the mound, right-hander Linty Ingram. He's 10-4 on the year, and he's not going to show us probably the fastball that Pat Hope has, but he has a variety of curveballs, and the key for him today, Sam, is he going to be able to handle the left-hand bats from Oklahoma State?
Linty Ingram, a junior from Longview, Texas, 21 years old. Struck out 114 in 134 and a third innings, despite not having overpowering stuff. Got good control, and he's a battler on the mound. Arizona State leading Oklahoma State 1-0. These two teams have met 7 times, make it 8 times, and Arizona State has won 7. Brad Beanblossom, normally the number 2 hitter, but with Blackman suspended, he moves up to the number 1 spot and takes the first pitch from Linty Ingram outside for a ball. Beanblossom, a freshman, has had a good year, hitting .319. Good base stealer. Stolen 23 bases in 27 tries. Ingram misses again outside. Seems to drop down with that arm, Jim. Almost comes sidearm.
Well, you don't know whether the scouting report says to try to pitch the Oklahoma State hitters high. There's so many more low ball hitters in college baseball today. Both those pitches were up.
And it's 3-0 on Brad Beanblossom.
And also take into consideration this is the first game of the College World Series. These kids are pumped about being here. There's a lot of tension. They're going to have some problems to get over, especially the pitchers in the early part of this ball game.
Got the outside corner.
Same thing, you know, when you're involved in World Series play on a major league level. Boy, you're pumped and you get ready for that first game. There's always a little tension. There's those first few innings. Then you settle into your normal game.
Ingram misses, and Beanblossom leads off the bottom half of the first for Oklahoma State with a walk. Cowboys, who love those opportunities, hit those base runners on. Gary Ward, the head coach, flashes the sign from third base. Dave Holliday is the first base coach for Oklahoma State. And here's the hard-hitting Ray Ortiz stepping in, a freshman from San Francisco, hitting .377 with 18 homers, 79 RBIs. Takes the off-speed pitch for a ball. Ingram not missing by much.
Well, everything has been up, and one factor could be, of course, you're coming into a strange mound. If he's come from a mound that has a much steeper angle to it, he's got to make an adjustment because his pitches are going to be up.
Beanblossom holds. The ball's hit off the hands to third. Dombrowski goes to second, high off the glove of Esmain into right field. Beanblossom will go to third. And Oklahoma State with runners at first and third and nobody out. Dombrowski was a close play on a slow roller. They went for the force at second base and threw it behind the second baseman Esme.
Once again, playing against a team you're not familiar with and maybe misjudging the speed of Beanblossom. You see the ball just squirt off the end of the bat of Ortiz. Now right here, Dombrowski obviously not looking at the runner, and the safe play right there would have been to take the sure out at first, because with Beanblossom's speed, it would have still been an extremely close play at second.
Runners at first and third. And Robin Ventura, the man that is Coach Gary Ward calls the hitting machine, steps in. Besides the hitting, he hits with power. Solid third baseman, not flashy. And he was outstanding in the World Series last year. Good breaking ball from Ingram.
Now he's got that down in the zone a little bit more. He didn't have it in that area, the first two hitters. I think what's so nice about Ventura is his attitude toward the streak. You know, he's here to try to win a college championship, go home with a ring on his finger. He really, at least on the surface, could care less about the streak.
Ingram's pitch in the dirt, blocked by Spear. Ortiz, who does not have tremendous speed, held up at first. That's Bean Blossom, not taking any chances off third.
See, good block right here by Tim Spear. And even though Ortiz does not have good speed, right there, base runner has got to be alert. You got your weight going towards second base. Even without good speed, you can make it on a short pass ball like that.
Count is 2-1 on Robin Ventura. Fastball hit hard up the middle. Nice play by Esme to Benjamin for one. On to first. Double play. Outstanding play by the second baseman, Tim Esme. Brad Beanblossom comes in to score. There's no RBI as Arizona State turns the double play. And the score is tied 1-1. Nice play by Esme at second.
Jim Brock loves to talk about Benjamin and Esme and the way they've come together defensively. You see right there. Just make an accurate flip and the double play turns itself. Benjamin gets Ventura by a half a stride. Big lift for Linty Ingram.
Game is tied 1-1, and the designated hitter and cleanup man Jimmy Iflin steps in. Iflin has had an outstanding year. Last year hit .395. Comes into the World Series hitting .404. You know, while Ventura has gotten all the notoriety, Iflin has backed him up by producing so well. That's helped Ventura. Breaking ball misses outside.
That's the kind of play, Sam, right there that we get into this ball game in the 7th or 8th. It won't show up, but to Linty Ingram, if that ball gets through, he's got to struggle just to get through this first inning. That's a big play right there by Esme.
Count is 3-0 on Jimmy Iflin.
I don't know how many times pitchers have had games where they've struggled like this early in the first inning, and a defensive play comes up like that, gets them out of trouble, and they go on and pitch an effective ball game. That turns the whole game around for them.
Ingram with a fastball. Count is 3-1 on Jimmy Iflin. Linty Ingram was 5-1 in Pac-10 play in a tough Pac-10 division. On the outside corner. Count is full on Iflin.
What I like about both these guys, Ingram and Hope, even though we understand national publications been a little critical of college coaches overusing their pitchers, both these guys, very durable, pitched a lot of innings in the regionals for their respective teams.
Full count pitch, swung on and missed. And Iflin is struck out. Arizona State scores a run in the top of the first. Oklahoma State matches it in the bottom of the first. Neither team getting a hit, but the game is tied 1-1 going to the second. This is the 41st annual NCAA College World Series, the 38th consecutive year. It's been held here at Rosenblatt Stadium in Omaha, Nebraska.
Talking about overworking your pitchers, Sam, to give you an idea, Pat Hope, in order for Oklahoma State to get to the College World Series, he pitched 9 innings on the 21st of May, came back on the 24th of May, just 2 days rest, pitched 9 more, and then on Monday came in and pitched 1 to save the game for the Cowboys. Now, this is just a personal opinion. I love that. I mean, I love guys that want the ball that often, and I really think you have less chance of hurting your arm like that than you do from too much rest.
And Pat Hope starts off. Tim Spear, the catcher for Arizona State, with a strike. What a good season for Pat Hope. Overshadowed, of course, by the hitting of his teammates, where they score so many runs. But Hope with a 3.65 earned run average. I think the statistic that most impressed me, Jim, in the regional is that he pitched 18 in the 3rd innings and only walked 1. Breaking ball in the dirt. So the walk in the 1st inning to Esme had to surprise some people. He doesn't walk all that many. Spear has had a good year. He's 2nd on the team in hitting with a .331 batting average.
Remember Harvey Keene, batting champion, front foot hitter. Spear's the same kind of hitter.
Outside corner with that pitch. Count is 1 and make it 2-2 on Tim Spear. Scoreboard is out here at Rosenblatt Stadium. So we'll rely on the umpire, Hank Roundtree, to let us know. There you see a little technical problem early in the ball game. 2-2 to Spear. Surprised at that way he drops that bat to set himself, Jim.
Yeah, he has an extremely closed stance, which of course most front foot hitters would do. They close up and they transfer all their weight up onto that front foot.
Full count pitch. Missed down low. Second walk issued by Pat Hope. And Tim Spear goes down to first base with a leadoff walk.
On his control during the season, Pat Hope's been outstanding in 118 innings, just 24 walks and 85 strikeouts, which is a tremendous ratio. So control normally is not a problem for him, but like we said, College World Series pressure.
Facing the left fielder, Mike Barola. Take a look at the Oklahoma State defense, shading toward right center, though they give Barola the lines in left and right.
Breaking pitch, foul tipped and held by Smith. Infield in double play depth.
Spear is not a threat to run at first.
Breaking ball in the dirt, blocked by Smith, and he finds it.
Adam Smith.
You gotta love being a catcher. You don't want to take those kind of bumps and bruises, and you never get back there.
But you're in the game in every pitch. Great position.
Pitch misses outside, and the count is 2-2 on Mike Barola.
Barola with 13 home runs this season, 44 RBIs, his second year at Arizona State.
Again missing.
Almost looks like he's trying to be too fine out there. Count is full for the fourth batter that he's gone 3-2 on, and this is only the 7th batter in the order that he's faced.
Runner goes. Pitch is swung on and missed. The throw from Smith to Farris, not in time.
So Spear steals only his second base of the season. He was 1 for 5. Third strikeout for Pat Hope. Leave one man out, but a runner in scoring position.
You've got a guy that's 6'5", 220. You see the big high leg kick, and big guys naturally are going to have a tougher time delivering the ball to home plate. And there you see Adam Smith with a decent throw, but Spear got much too good a jump on it.
Bob Dombrowski, the third baseman, steps in with 1 out and a runner at second.
Once again, a walk getting Pat Hope in trouble.
Dombrowski faking the bunt and taking the ball. Dombrowski hitting .275, came on in the West 2 Regional, hit .375 in the Regional.
He's a much improved hitter, and he will try to bunt for base hits. Of course, we would not look for him to bunt right here with a man on second and 1 out. Coach Jim Brock wants him to swing the bat, try to knock the run in.
On the ground, foul. The bat goes flying down the third base side. Dombrowski, in his 3rd year at Arizona State, has played a different position every year. Was a middle infielder his first year, was a catcher last year, and now playing third base, and had an outstanding year. I guess they'll match him with anybody at third base in the Pac-10. They feel he's one of the finest fielding third basemen in the Pac-10 conference. 1-2 to Dombrowski in the dirt and blocked by Smith.
That's an outstanding play by a catcher right there. We've talked about this before. You don't try to catch the ball. You just give up your body and get in the way of it and block it. And that's exactly what Smith did right there to keep the runner from advancing.
Smith showing good quickness, getting his body in front of that pitch.
Again missing outside, and the count is full.
See, the scouting reports right now, Sam, I think are having an effect on this ball game. Both, of course, Oklahoma State and Arizona State, good offensive teams. And they go over the scouting reports, and you start going away from your real strength as a pitcher.
On the ground, a second. Bean Blossom handles it, throws to Berrigan, 2 men out. Adam played well. Spear moves up to third with 2 men down.
You talk about the catcher, Adam Smith, getting his body in front of the ball. Same thing with an infielder. See right there, Brad Beanblossom just gets his body in the way so he can keep the ball in front of him, knowing he'll have enough time to make the throw and get the out, and he did.
It's been a fine addition to the team. Here's John Finn, the center fielder. Number 9 man in the order. Up the middle with a ground ball. Beanblossom gets to it. It's going to be a tough play. No. Not in time. Finn, who runs well, beats it out. And Arizona State takes a 2-1 lead on the infield single by John Finn. Beanblossom did well to get to this ball.
Not a thing he could do about it. There you see right there. You see that little crow hop that he takes to get himself in position. Makes as good a play as he can make, but with John Finn's speed, no way he can get him.
That's the first hit of the ball game, an infield single, and Arizona State takes a 2-1 lead. Finn is going. Pitch is taken. The throw from Smith is high and not in time. Second stolen base for Arizona State, and John Finn, who's got good speed, steals the base. His 23rd stolen base in 26 tries this season.
It's obvious that Jim Brock, and he has told us he's not bashful about sending these guys. They're going to try to get every man in scoring position they can, regardless of the count or the number of outs.
Pitch misses. The leadoff man, Mike Benjamin, and a good RBI man. He's got 55 RBIs this season. Good for second on the team. Breaking ball, check swing, hit up the middle. Beanblossom. The Berrigan, the side retired. But again, Arizona State capitalizes on a walk. They move the runner up with a stolen base, and they drive him in on an infield single. It's 2-1 going to the bottom of the second. ESPN's live presentation of the 1987 NCAA College World Series is being brought to you by Budweiser. Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. By Mercury, makers of the all-new Mercury Tracer. Mercury, the shape you want to be in. And by Shell, where the price is the same, cash or credit. Game 1 of the NCAA College World Series. Game 2 coming up later this evening, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. LSU and Florida State. John Sanders and Jim Cott will bring you Game 2 later this evening. Tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock Central Time, 4 o'clock Eastern Time. We'll bring you Game 3 of the series. Jim and I will be here to bring you Texas and Arkansas. Jimmy Berrigan, the first baseman, takes it inside. Count is 2-0. Berrigan hitting .360 this year. Hits the ball hard. His second straight 20 home run season at 24 last year and 20 this season. Hit .333 in the College World Series last year, but pressed a little bit. Didn't come through in clutch situations. I think he was disturbed last year. He was drafted very low in the Major League draft. Elected to come back this year. Breaking ball from Linty Ingram is inside.
See Ingram, like Hope, pitching very cautiously early in the ball game. I think that is a result of analyzing the scouting reports instead of using your own strength, paying too much attention to the hitter's weakness.
Foul back and out of play.
In fairness to the pitchers, a big reason for that nowadays in college baseball, we talk about the metal bat, and one of the big advantages of it is so light. It's 29 ounces. Now, most of your wooden bats are going to go 32 to 35. Therefore, it's very difficult to get the ball in on the hands of a lot of these college hitters.
Hit in the air down the left field line, slicing foul and back off the fence in front of the bleachers, down the line. We got Linty Ingram out of Waco, Texas. Good job of recruiting done by Jim Brock.
Another thing you mentioned about Berrigan pressing. A lot of the scouts have relayed to Gary Ward they'd like to see Berrigan pull the ball more. And I think that has affected his stroke a little bit.
On the ground foul.
Which is really not fair. I remember a teammate of mine, Don Mincher, who had a lot of, he had some size, 6'3", over 200, and they kept trying to get him to pull the ball. When he did, he hit about $190. Then when he went back to his old natural strokes, hit the ball all over. He hit 25 home runs.
Hit hard to left center field. Finn goes over. He's there and makes the catch. They had him shaded toward left center. John Finn, who covers the ground real well, over to take the line drive off the bat of Jimmy Berrigan.
Here's a look at the stroke of Jimmy Berrigan. Ball a little bit up in the strike zone. Of course, most left-hand hitters, Berrigan included, like the ball down. As a result, he skied that ball in the air.
Monty Ferris, 6'6" shortstop, sophomore, hitting .298. Leads the team with 23 home runs. Takes a good curveball on the outside corner from Ingram for a strike. Ferris also leads the team in walks. He's walked 86 times and has 92 runs scored. He'll take a lot of pitches, as he did there. It's 0-2.
He's got to be reminiscent of a Marty Marion or a Cal Ripken. Don't see many shortstops with that kind of size, but there's two of them, and they were good ones. A lot of doubt as to whether this guy can play short. You know, the answer is give him a chance, see if he can.
Ingram ahead of Ferris, 0-2. One man out in the bottom of the second. Off the hands, foul back. Arizona State leading 2-1 here in the bottom half of the second inning.
Now here's where Linty Ingram uses his pitches so well. You see, after the curveball, now he runs the fastball up and in. That's exactly the way you want to pitch to a hitter. When you use the breaking ball to get ahead, away, especially with the metal bat and the importance of pitching in and out, then use that fastball to run it in, and makes the fastball look much faster than it actually is.
1-2 to Ferris. On the ground to third. Dombrowski right there. Across to Dyson. Off the base, he makes the tag. Good play by Dyson, coming off to take the throw from Dombrowski and tag the runner, Monty Ferris. Two men out.
Now we're seeing a little bit of the early College World Series jitters, because right here, Bob Dombrowski with plenty of time. Now watch this throw. Hey, just a little bit off the mark. Still got the out.
And here's the catcher, Adam Smith. Steps in with the good batting average, as most Oklahoma State hitters do, from San Jose, California. Left-handed hitter, takes outside for a ball. See the way Arizona State plays Adam Smith in the outfield. Straight away and left. Finn is pulled around toward right center. Big gap in left center. That pitch misses down low. Count is 2-0.
One of the reasons for that is because Ingram, primarily a curveball pitcher, is going to throw a lot of breaking balls to these left-hand hitters. With the exception of that one right there, good fastball in the outside corner, but they're going to pull the breaking ball more often, so Finn is going to shade them all over to right field.
There's a slider for a strike. Count is 2-2, so Ingram has come back nicely.
That's a good overhand breaking ball. You see a lot of sliders today, but you don't see very many pitchers with that good overhand curveball like that one.
Foul off the left side. Out of play. Count remains 2-2 on Adam Smith. Linty Ingram on the mound for Arizona State was about to sign with the University of Houston. And just before he signed, maybe the day he was about to sign, changed his mind. Decided to go to Arizona State with his junior college coach, Dub Kilgo.
And he's been a big addition to this Arizona State staff. The pitching coach, Dub Kilgo, is responsible for a lot of their future recruits, as well as pitchers like Ingram, in addition to being what Jim Brock thinks is the finest pitching coach in college baseball.
Fastball misses outside, and the count is full on Adam Smith.
He made a good point. There are pitching coaches on all levels that are good at teaching mechanics, and then there are good coaches at just talking philosophy. Kilgo, a combination of both.
Fastball popped up, playable. Down the third baseline, Dombrowski in foul territory, moves back into fair territory and makes the catch. 1-2-3 in the bottom of the second at the end of 2. Game 1 of the College World Series. Arizona State leads Oklahoma State 2-1.
The chance to become college baseball's national champion. ESPN's World Series coverage from Omaha continues with an exclusive doubleheader. Saturday at 4 Eastern, live on ESPN.
This is the 1987 College World Series. The Cowboys of Oklahoma State are here for a record 7th consecutive year, but they haven't won it. Won one title in 1959. Gary Ward, 10 years at Oklahoma State, has won 504 games.
And there's one of the reasons he has right there, Sam. Pat Hope, 6'5", 220, 11-2 record this year. And as you mentioned, their pitching does not get a lot of recognition because they're so offensive-minded.
Walks have hurt Hope in the first 2 innings. We go to the top of the 3rd. Throws a strike to Tim Esme, the second baseman. The little guy has done a good job for Jim Brock. Esme coming into the game hitting .301. Down is 0-2.
Big high leg kick. And there's that changeup that we talked about. You see the bottom fall out of that ball right at the end.
In the dirt with that one. Count 1-2.
Remember years ago, the Baltimore Orioles had the famous Kitty Corps when they came up with Steve Barber and Milt Pappas, Jack Fisher, Chuck Estrada. Paul Richards taught them all a slip pitch. That's kind of the way that Pat Hope throws his changeup.
Got him looking.
There it is right there.
4th strikeout for Pat Hope.
See if we can get a closer look at the grip of that pitch. He will jam the ball way back into the thumb and the forefinger area. Don't get a real close look at it there, but you see his motion. Good mechanics for a guy 6'5", 220, and normally they will have some mechanical problems.
Breaking ball hit hard, base hit for Ted Dyson. Second hit of the ball game for Arizona State. Dyson hitting it hard. The last hit was an infield single.
If you're a right-hand pitcher, that's the zone you want to stay out of to a left-hand hitter, that knee-high inside part of the strike zone. And that's where that breaking ball was, and Dyson hit it right on the button.
Here's the right fielder, Dan Rumsey. Fouls it back. 1 man out. Ted Dyson, the first baseman, a runner at first. Arizona State leading 2-1. Rumsey good against right-handed pitchers. Usually will sit him down against left-handers. Breaking ball popped up in the infield. Ventura looking up, getting an angle on it, and fades with it and makes the catch.
You know, Sam Hope is just a sophomore. As a freshman, he was 2-0, and the impressive thing about him this year, 15 starts, he's pitched 10 complete games. And that's the kind of pitcher you want to be able to get going in the College World Series, because a series like this, there are many staffs that are deep, but it's 2 or 3 of your key guys that'll do it for you.
Pitching to the designated hitter, Tony Mattia. Mattia played 3 years at Grand Canyon, then transferred to Arizona State. Sat out last year. Check swing, went around on the fastball.
You see his tempo is picking up a little bit here now that we're into the 3rd inning. Some of the early game jitters have left him, and he's settling into a little better rhythm.
On the ground foul. 2 men out here in the top half of the 3rd inning. Arizona State leading 2-1. A run in each of the first 2 innings. Capitalizing on walks and an error in the first inning. Mattia at the plate was drafted by the Chicago Cubs in 1985. Big long ball threat. 6'1", 230. Hits it hard deep to right field. Coming on is Castillo, and it drops in front of him. A long single. Castillo was actually playing back near the warning track against Mattia.
It's the advantage of a big, strong hitter like Mattia getting some extra base hits because of the fact that the right fielders and the outfielders playing so deep they respect his power. See, now Castillo was playing way back near the warning track. Normal position, he would have caught that ball easily, but Mattia, because of his power, gets a base hit.
There's Tim Spear, the catcher. He walked and scored in the second inning. So Arizona State again with a threat. 2 singles by Dyson and Mattia. Runners at first and second with 2 men out. Here in the top of the third. Spear misses the fastball.
And Hope, like his counterpart Ingram. Jim Brock worried about Ingram being able to get out the Oklahoma State left-handed hitters. The same thing true for Hope. He's got to neutralize those left-hand hitters to pitch an effective ball game.
On the inside corner, good pitch. Really crowded Spear with that one.
In and out, that's pitching. Much more important nowadays than up and down with that quick light bat.
Ahead of Spear, 1 and 2. On the ground to second. Bean Blossom to Ferris, and the inning is over. Arizona State gets 2 hits, but the runners are left on. We go to the bottom half of the third inning. Arizona State leading 2-1. Oklahoma State comes to bat, still looking for their first hit of the game. You can't get any better than this. It's going to Game 7 in the Stanley Cup Finals, and we'll have it for you live Sunday night, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Philadelphia at Edmonton. The series all even, 3 games apiece. The Flyers winning the last 2, coming from behind to do it. Won again last night. And as Oklahoma State came off the field at the end of that top half of the third, Gary Ward gathered his players around him for a little powwow.
Well, this is it's customary over the Japan teams, and I noticed the Olympic teams that came from the Far East a few years ago. They all have a little rally right at the end of the inning. And of course, Gary Ward, very much a scientific coach, and he may have noticed something with Linty Ingram or approach that his hitters were taking. Wanted to have just a brief meeting with him. He leaves no, I can't use that cliche. He pays attention to everything.
Benny Castillo, the right fielder. Takes a breaking ball from Linty Ingram for a strike. Bottom half of the third inning in Arizona State. Outstanding hitting ball club, looking for their first hit. They had 353 for the season. Sidearm fastball. Ingram really dropped down on that pitch. Tough pitch to hit.
Well, Jim Brock said he used the term a poor man's Juan Marichal, and he will come from a lot of different angles.
That time over the top, and Castillo rips it down the left field line. Chance for a double. Good play by Barola. Here's the play at second, and Castillo's in with a double. Barola, the left fielder, got to that ball well, but he was deep in the corner, and Castillo's got good speed and gets there with the first hit of the game off Linty Ingram.
Now we talk about Linty Ingram and the comparison to Marichal, but Gary Ward talks about Cepeda and Tony Pena, a couple of great hitters right there being free swingers. Castillo very much out of that mold, just cuts and slashes.
Castillo at second with nobody out, and Mick Ward, the number 9 man in the order, takes the ball.
Of course, Ward playing because of the incident to Anthony Blackman, and we'll get into the statement that Anthony Blackman made because of that incident. He feels very badly about it.
Fake the bunt, took it low. Mick Ward is the nephew of head coach Gary Ward, and Gary Ward was reluctant to recruit him. He's from Neosho, Missouri. He says, I don't like to recruit family, but my assistant coaches said, you can't pass this guy up. And he's a freshman and has played well in a reserve role. He's got good speed, he's a good fielder, and has hit .469, 15 for 32. He takes a strike.
High energy player. You'll see him probably if Ingram throws a breaking ball, he'll be way out front, very eager to hit. Blackman, just to paraphrase what he had said, he wanted to apologize to his mother and his family and the coach and the school. Very disappointed in what had happened down there at Starkville. And we should point out that the Starkville, Mississippi area, great college baseball area.
That breaking ball misses. It's 3-1.
And certainly don't want to use that one example to reflect the kind of fans that they have down there, because they're great fans, great college program. This was just an incident of a couple of guys, a couple of wackos that got out of line, and it's unfortunate that this had happened to Anthony Blackman.
And Blackman, when the tournament ended, made an obscene gesture
to the fans, and he has been suspended for the first 2 games of the World Series. Fastball on the outside corner. Good pitch by Ingram. Count is full on Mick Ward. Ward also in his times at the bat has had 18 walks, so 15 base hits and 18 walks in 50 plate appearances. Fastball tapped in front of the plate. Here comes Ingram for the play, and that does the job of a sacrifice bunt. It moves the runner to third, Castillo, with 1 man out.
That really is a great at-bat by Mick Ward right there. I mean, you look at it, I mean, he just hit a little nubber out in front of the plate. But 3-2 with a good breaking ball pitcher like Linty Ingram. Mick Ward wants to advance Benny Castillo. Now look right there, that pitch is in on his hands. He does everything he can just to make contact, hit it the other way, and he gets rewarded. He moves Castillo into third base with just 1 out.
Infield is back as Brad Beanblossom. It gets away from the catcher Spear, and in comes Castillo to score. The pitch was in the dirt and got away from the catcher, so Benny Castillo opened the inning with a double. It's up on the infield out and scores on what looks to be a wild pitch, and is a wild pitch.
Now you get the benefit Gary Ward does of playing good fundamental baseball right there. Just Spear did not get the gate down. He moved his body over there, but he did not get the glove down like we talked about earlier. Don't catch the ball, just block it.
Game is tied 2-2, and Beanblossom lines it into right field for a base hit. Second hit of the inning for Oklahoma State. And the freshman second baseman with good speed, Brad Beanblossom, is aboard. Beanblossom has 23 stolen bases in 27 tries, so he's a threat to run, especially with a left-handed batter, Ortiz, at the plate.
Well, they're sticking some numbers up on the board early, but not quite like they did a few years ago.
Runner goes, the curveball taken, and Beanblossom has got it stolen. It was a breaking ball, and Spear had no chance.
Breaking ball pitcher, you see, he never checked Beanblossom. Got a running start, balls in the dirt. Spear handles it backhand, but cannot get Beanblossom with his speed and the jump that he got.
So Ray Ortiz, the left fielder, in with a runner at second. Hits the breaking ball, foul, outside third base line.
Started talking about the last time these 2 teams met back in '84 in the College World Series, 23-12, but that flag, instead of 8 miles an hour, was about 38 miles an hour out toward left field.
They're still talking about the home run Oda B. McDowell hit in that one. Way out over the right center field wall. Fastball hit foul. Ray Ortiz hitting .377 in his freshman.
And certainly don't want to use that one example to reflect the kind of fans that they have down there, because they're great fans, great college program. This was just an incident of a couple of guys, a couple of wackos that got out of line, and it's unfortunate that this had happened to Anthony Blackman.
And Blackman, when the tournament ended, made an obscene gesture to the fans, and he has been suspended for the first 2 games of the World Series. Fastball on the outside corner. Good pitch by Ingram. Count is full on Mick Ward. Ward also in his times at the bat has had 18 walks, so 15 base hits and 18 walks in 50 plate appearances. Fastball tapped in front of the plate. Here comes Ingram for the play, and that does the job of a sacrifice bunt. It moves the runner to third, Castillo, with 1 man out.
That really is a great at-bat by Mick Ward right there. I mean, you look at it, I mean, he just hit a little nubber out in front of the plate. But 3-2 with a good breaking ball pitcher like Linty Ingram. Mick Ward wants to advance Benny Castillo. Now look right there, that pitch is in on his hands. He does everything he can just to make contact, hit it the other way, and he gets rewarded. He moves Castillo into third base with just 1 out.
Infield is back as Brad Beanblossom. It gets away from the catcher Spear, and in comes Castillo to score. The pitch was in the dirt and got away from the catcher, so Benny Castillo opened the inning with a double. It's up on the infield out and scores on what looks to be a wild pitch and is a wild pitch.
Now you get the benefit Gary Ward does of playing good fundamental baseball right there. Just Spear did not get the gate down. He moved his body over there, but he did not get the glove down like we talked about earlier. Don't catch the ball, just block it.
Game is tied 2-2, and Bean Blossom lines it into right field for a base hit. Second hit of the inning for Oklahoma State. And the freshman second baseman with good speed, Brad Bean Blossom, is aboard. Bean Blossom has 23 stolen bases in 27 tries, so he's a threat to run, especially with a left-handed batter, Ortiz, at the plate.
Well, they're sticking some numbers up on the board early, but not quite like they did a few years ago.
Runner goes, the curveball taken, and Bean Blossom has got it stolen. It was a breaking ball, and Spear had no chance.
Breaking ball pitcher. You see, he never checked Bean Blossom. Got a running start. Ball's in the dirt. Spear handles it backhand, but cannot get Bean Blossom with his speed and the jump that he got.
So Ray Ortiz, the left fielder, in with a runner at second. Hits the breaking ball, foul, outside third base line.
Started talking about the last time these two teams met back in '84 in the College World Series. 23-12, but that flag, instead of 8 miles an hour, was about 38 miles an hour out toward left field.
They're still talking about the home run Oda B. McDowell hit in that one. Way out over the right center field wall. Fastball hit foul. Ray Ortiz hitting .377 in his freshman year. He's out of San Francisco. He hit .360 in the Mid-East Regional and was named to the all-tournament team. Had 2 home runs in the tournament. Has 18 homers for the season. And he was hitting the ball a long way in batting practice. Swung at a high fastball, didn't get it. So there are 2 men out. As Ortiz goes down on strike. Second strikeout for Lindy Ingram.
Talked about his ability to use the fastball after the breaking ball. Now look at this. Up and in on a left-hand hitter. That's most of the time where a left-hand hitter's weakness is. You tantalize him with that off-speed breaking ball. Good pitch by Lenny Ingram.
And Robin Ventura steps in. Ventura has hit in 56 consecutive games coming into this one. Hit into a double play in the first inning. Oklahoma State scored a run in the first inning without a base hit. And Ventura with runners at first and third hit into the DP. Ventura was 9 for 15 in the College World Series last year, the leading hitter in the series. Curveball over the inside corner.
He's getting into his rhythm much better also, like Pat Hope is after the first couple of innings. Look at this breaking ball right here. Kind of froze Ventura, which is something not many pitchers have done this season.
Again, the curveball gets the inside corner. Throwing him a lot of breaking balls, but Ventura's seen a lot of that during the course of his hitting streak and all the notoriety he's gotten.
Well, if the pitchers wanted a liberal strike zone and a pitcher's umpire behind home plate, they got one in Hank Roundtree. Look at this pitch right there. Very, very borderline. Not many umpires give you that pitch.
1-2 to Ventura. Went high and inside with a fastball. Showed him that same fastball he struck out Ortiz with. Now it's 2-2.
High and tight, low and away. It's been that way since Abner invented this game.
2 men out, a runner at second. Game tied 2-2 here in the bottom half of the third inning. Hit hard to left field, but room for Mike Barola to make the catch, and the side's retired. Oklahoma State gets a run on 2 hits, and at the end of 3, game 1 of the College World Series, we're all tied 2-2.
This is my lava machine. And this is my lava machine. New lava liquid. In 30 years of working with my hands, I've never used a hand cleaner like it. Power of pumice in a liquid. Feel it, powering away dirt, grease, just about anything. Powering hands clean. I'm Roger Gustin. friend. When I talk power, I know what I'm talking about.
Lava, new liquid and traditional bar. Power's hands clean.
Virginia is not just a place for lovers. It's also a place for outstanding high school track and field athletes. Hi, I'm Chris Fowler. That's on this week's ESPN Scholastic Sports America, Saturday.
Those Cowboys are fine people, fine baseball program. And it's been a pleasure to telecast their games on ESPN. Pleasure to watch the Arizona State Sun Devils back in the World Series. Mike Barola, the left fielder, swings at a fastball to open the top half of the fourth inning. Barola struck out in the second inning. Arizona State scored a run in that inning on a walk, a stolen base, an infield out, and an infield single. Oklahoma State has scored 2 runs without getting an RBI. In the first inning, a run scored on a double play ground out, and the third scoring on a wild pitch. Good slider.
We're going to monitor Pat Hope's pitches this inning, Sam. Through 3 innings, 61 pitches. That's too many. That's over 180 over a 9-inning ball game. But last inning, 12 strikes, 4 balls. He's gotten into a better groove. See if he can continue that pace.
In the dirt. That was that slip pitch again, bouncing in front of the plate. Don't say too many pitches to Richie Lewis tonight. He threw 198 in the ball game this year.
I love it. They get criticized for it, but I tell you, it'll rust out before it'll wear out.
Change up on the ground at third. Ventura right there across to Berrigan. 1 man out in the fourth inning.
I should point out, you do want to use some discretion. I mean, there is so much made of pitchers throwing too many pitches. Now, I guarantee you on the big league level, more arm injuries today than ever before. Primarily, it's because guys don't throw enough. They don't want to throw enough, and they don't throw enough on the side, and they don't get out to the mound often enough.
Baby the arm a little bit.
Exactly.
Here's Bob Dombrowski. He grounded to second in the second inning, and that ground ball moved the runner over to third, where he scored on an infield single. Dombrowski, as Jim mentioned earlier in the game, likes to bunt, and they're up at first and third. He swings away, pops it into short right center. Benny Castillo moves over, called off by Mick Ward. 2 men out in the top half of the fourth inning. This is game 1 of the College World Series. Game 2, 8 o'clock Eastern time tonight. John Sanders and Jim Cott will bring you that game between Florida State and Louisiana State. Tomorrow, Texas plays Arkansas, and Georgia meets Stanford in the completion of round 1. Pat Hope. Now he seems to have settled into a groove. There's Jim Brock. 16th season at Arizona State, his 10th trip to the World Series. He's won 2 championships. Arizona State has won 5. Hit hard to center field. Here comes Mick Ward. He got a good jump, and he's right there to take the hard-hit line drive. 1-2-3 inning for Pat Hope. We go to the bottom half of the fourth inning with Arizona State and Oklahoma State tied 2-2. SportsCenter follows this game, and following SportsCenter, Game 2 of the 1987 College World Series, with LSU back for the 2nd year in a row, and Florida State, last year's runner-up to Arizona. Should be a good one. Jim Cott and John Sanders will be here to bring it to you.
Give you the results of that last inning, Sam. We said we'd monitor Pat Hope. No secret why he got 3 quick outs. He threw 7 strikes and 2 balls. So he's now bringing that pitch average per inning down to a little more realistic figure.
We go to the bottom half of the fourth inning, and the designated hitter, Jim Eflin, steps in. He struck out his first time up in the first inning. Eflin had an outstanding regional at Starkville. Oklahoma State coming through the losers bracket. A tremendous comeback after having been beaten once by Texas A&M. They bounced back to win 3 games in a row and beat Texas A&M the last 2 in a row to win the championship and move on to the College World Series. And Eflin had 9 RBIs in the regional, hit .385. Linty Ingram. And that's his given name, Linty. Hit foul down the left field side and slicing into the stands.
Linty Lee Ingram, to be exact.
Nice name.
Yeah. We should point up, as you mentioned, how the Cowboys got to the College World Series. A lot of good college baseball teams just a pitch or an out away from being here. Texas A&M, Washington State, Miami, New Orleans. A lot of good programs out there, but only 8 of them get to come here.
Off the hands, soft line drive to Mike Benjamin, the shortstop. 1 man out. Good pitch by Ingram as he continues to move the ball well. Benjamin in good position, had no problem with that line drive.
He's pitching very effectively in a manner that we talked about throughout the early innings, in and out. Years ago, it was just keep the ball down, keep the ball down. But now with the light bats, guys that can handle a low pitch, you've got to be able to pitch in and out. Both these guys doing a good job of it.
Berrigan fly to center field his first time. 3rd year in the World Series for Jimmy Berrigan. Takes a breaking ball inside. 3-year starter at first base. 24 home runs last year, 20 this year. And then hit a couple out in batting practice that were long out of here.
You can tell they all watch TV. Got those gloves and wristbands. Here we're going to get a look at Linty Ingram. Just pretty normal leg kick, good mechanics.
And this time the mechanics put the pitch over the plate for Berrigan to rip into right center field. A base hit for the Cowboys' first baseman. He was 5 for 15 in the World Series last year.
Now we get a look at his swing. Now see this ball a little lower in the strike zone. The last at bat, the fastball was up. He popped it up. This time it's down. He hits a line drive.
So Oklahoma State, their 3rd hit of the ball game. Runner on with 1 man out, and Monty Ferris, the shortstop, steps in. Ferris grounded to 3rd his first time up.
Ingram, incidentally, was 58 pitches through the first 3 innings, 34 strikes, 24 balls.
Breaking ball, good one. Again, that time Ingram dropping down, almost sidearm with that pitch to Ferris.
That's his strength as a starter. See, the first go around through the batting order, most of the pitches were from on top. Now he's dropping down to a few different angles, giving the hitter a different look.
Berrigan faked running at first, and the pitch was fouled out of the ballpark off the right side. Count is 1-2 on Ferris. Berrigan, very selective. He doesn't have great speed, but when he goes, I think he knows he's got a good chance to make it.
The graphic explained his ability to steal bases.
Ingram ahead on the count. Missed outside again. He dropped down with a sidearm fastball. Ferris with good power, leading the team with 23 home runs. Breaking ball on the ground, foul. All-time Oklahoma State record held by Pete Incaviglia with 48. Pete dropped by to visit his former team and some of his former teammates. Watched him at practice. I think he took a few swings before heading on to Kansas City.
Probably hit a couple out.
Throw over to first, and Berrigan gets back. Incaviglia had 48 one year. 29 is the 2nd highest total, and Berrigan has 24, the 3rd highest total. Ferris is 23, 4th highest. Runner goes. The pitch was taken, and it got him. Oh, that's a close play. Tag was a little high on Berrigan, but a quick tag by Esme.
Well, that's the one play, you know, an umpire cannot be every place at once. He gets himself in position right here, the second base umpire, Randy Crystal. But let's get a look at the tag. The tag appeared to be high on Berrigan from the angle we see. But see, the umpire is behind him there. He doesn't get as close a look at that. I mean, he obviously has to make that split-second decision. We get a chance, the luxury of seeing 3 or 4 different angles, but it really appeared that maybe the tag was put on a little high. Can't quite see that lead leg, but it appeared that maybe Berrigan was in there.
Close play. Berrigan thrown out for the first time this season. And 2 men out. Here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Jim Brock looking on. Breaking ball is tapped up the third baseline foul. There's Berrigan thrown out for the first time this season. Let's see, did he get in?
We'll see another angle. Let's look at that lead leg. No, he lifted it up. The leg was there in time, but it came up off the ground.
Good call by Randy Crystal at second base. Berrigan thrown out trying to steal. 2 men out here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Score tied 2-2.
That's why you see your good base stealers like Henderson and Raines and back Lou Brock and Joe Morgan, who will be with us tomorrow. They bang into that bag, get that front foot down, and keep it there. It doesn't come off the bag.
Hit off the hand, short center field. John Finn comes on and makes the catch. Berrigan got a base hit. He was erased on the good throw from the catcher Spear to Esme, and the side's retired at the end of 4. Game 1 is all even, 2 apiece. Top of the order for Arizona State as we go to the top half of the 5th inning. Mike Benjamin will lead off against Pat Hope. Takes a strike on the outside corner. Benjamin leads the team in at-bats, runs, hits, doubles, triples, walks, and stolen bases. Pretty good offensive player. Good breaking ball from Hope. Strike 2. Lights have been turned on here at Rosenblatt Stadium as we get into the late afternoon. Foul back. Tim Brando standing by down at the dugout level. Tim, what's going on?
Sam and Jim, I know you've been monitoring the pitches of Pat Hope. I talked with Tom Holliday, the pitching coach for the Cowboys, and he said that he feels comfortable with Hope, saying that 140 pitches or so is a comfortable number for him.
He's thrown 4 to Mike Benjamin, and all in the strike zone.
Well, he was 71 through 4 innings, so he's close to that 140. Of course, that can be deceptive, too. We get carried away with numbers. It's really what kind of rhythm you're throwing with.
Down the right field side, Castillo comes over and makes the catch. Good pitch by Hope.
Worked him inside. The last pitch went outside, and that ball was hit off the end of the bat.
And good defensive alignment by Oklahoma State. They had Castillo played well over toward the right field line. The defense, Benjamin.
Here's Tim Esme, second baseman. Walked and scored in the 1st inning. Takes a fastball for a strike. Hope has really gotten into a good rhythm right now.
First pitch strikes. Boy, that's the most important pitch in the game. Ingram is refuting that theory so far, but over the long haul, it is. The reason I say that is out of 15 hitters, he's only gotten the first pitch in for a strike twice, but yet he has kept Oklahoma State at bay.
Hope has retired the last 5 batters in a row. Esme a walk and a strikeout in the ball game. Esme walked, moved to second on a pass ball, and scored on an error. Ground ball to first base. Jimmy Berrigan turning to make the throw to Pat Hope. Hope a little slow in covering, and the throw went past him into the dugout, allowing Esme to score.
Got him looking. 5 strikeouts for Pat Hope, and 4 have been called third strikes.
And there is an Ed Runge strike zone, my favorite ball strike umpire of all time. You see that right there. Now, actually, when that ball came across the plate, it was very close to knee high. We'll get a look at it right there. Just very borderline. But not many umpires give you that pitch.
Here's Ted Dyson, the first baseman. Hit the ball hard his last time up. Dyson hit the ground ball, on which Oklahoma State made the error. Head coach Jim Brock. Up the middle, past the pitcher and into center field. Second hit for Ted Dyson. Got a base hit his last time up to right field.
So Dyson is 2 for 3.
Runner
Runner at first with 2 men out. And Dan Rumsey, the cleanup hitter, and right fielder, will step in against Pat Hope. Fourth hit off Pat Hope as he throws over Dyson back. On the outside corner. Rumsey has played deep in the outfield. Oklahoma State playing the outfield very deep. They give Rumsey the right field line and the gap in left center. Take a look at the alignment. That's Ortiz straight away in left. Way back in center is Ward, and pulled over to right center. There's Castillo giving him the right field line, but he's way back in right field.
Line base hit to right field. Dyson should be able to go to third, but he won't challenge the arm of Castillo. Good throw.
Dyson holding at second. So back-to-back singles with 2 men out by Dyson and Rumsey.
Well, we've seen both Dyson and Rumsey, the left-hand hitters, get that breaking ball down in the strike zone, hit it with authority. That one's in the hole. You get a look right there at Dyson's jump off from first, and with 2 outs, he did not get the jump off first base he should have. Of course, he had to hold at second. Ball hit solidly.
Here's Tony Mattia, the designated hitter, singled his last time. Takes a ball. Struck out looking his first time up. Mattia hit that line drive where Castillo is way back in right center and near the warning track.
Hit high and deep to center field. Mick Ward started back late and makes the catch deep
in center field off the bat of Tony Mattia. Sides retired into 4.5. Arizona State and Oklahoma State tied 2-2. Pat Hope gets out of the jam by getting the DH. Tony Mattia to fly out.
ESPN's live presentation of the 1987 NCAA College World Series is being brought to you by Diet Coke. You're going to drink it just for the taste of it. And by American Express. Membership has its privileges. Don't leave home without it.
Here at Rosenblatt Stadium, young fans on hand enjoying themselves as the 1987 College World Series gets underway, and it's an outstanding tournament field this year. Coming up after a trip to Sports Center, Game 2 tonight. John Sanders and Jim Cott will bring you all the action as LSU meets Florida State. Florida State, an exciting team that loves to run. They've stole 227 bases. LSU with outstanding pitching. Left-hander Greg Patterson will give it a go. We go to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Catcher Adam Smith leads off for Oklahoma State. Score tied 2-2. Arizona State has left 6 runners on base in this ball game. Oklahoma State has left 1. Right-hander Linty Ingram misses with a breaking ball. Missing off the outside corner. Count is 3-1 on Adam Smith. Each year that Oklahoma State has come to the World Series, we've had different words for their hitting. On the ground hard to Dyson at first, makes a good play and steps on the bag for the out. One year it's been patience, the next year it's been discipline, this year it's relaxation. That's what they've been preaching to the Oklahoma State hitters. Here's Benny Castillo, the right fielder.
Gary Ward's got all. I mean, he takes this game serious. He does not leave anything to chance or to doubt. As you get a look at him right there, he really prepares these kids as well as you can to play the game of baseball.
Castillo doubled leading off the 3rd inning, came around to score, moved up on a tapper in front of the plate and then scored on a wild pitch.
And he gets into the mental part of it as well as just the mechanics, which I think is very important.
Well, not only is Gary Ward an outstanding teacher of hitting and coach of hitting, but he's a student. I mean, he is studying, reading different things, as you said, making it a science and looking into every way to get an edge.
Here's the control of Linty Ingram and the movement on that sinking fastball.
And another one. Manny Castillo from New York. Hits it off the hands. Soft line drive. Tim Esme makes the catch. And 2 men down. And again, you see the way Ingram is working these hitters. He's hit several players in on the hands and gotten those soft line drives.
That's the effect of that curveball. You see his position on the rubber down there. Works way off the first base side of the rubber. Drops down a little bit on that pitch, and the ball moves inside. Most right-handers will work off the third base side. Most left-handers off the first base side. A lot of reasons for that. You give yourself a little more room for that breaking ball to move all the way across the strike zone. There we'll get a little closer angle. Watch when he puts that right foot. He will put it over on the first base side of the rubber. That's unusual. In fact, Hope is doing the same thing.
Curveball to the center fielder Mick Ward, number 9 hitter in the order. He tapped out in front of the plate on a 3-2 pitch his last time up. Mick Ward used mostly as a pinch runner, defensive replacement, and spot player this year, his freshman year. Son of Gary Ward's older brother, and playing in place of the suspended Anthony Blackman. Blackman has been suspended for 2 games because of that unfortunate incident at the end of the Mid-East Regional. Sidearm fastball, good pitch from Ingram.
See why Ingram probably starts off the first base side. All 3 pitches that he's thrown right here to Mick Ward have been either on the outside corner or off the outside part of the plate. That's his way of being able to keep the ball on that side of the plate.
Doesn't use a pitching toe. He's wearing out that right shoe. Chop, foul off the side of the plate.
Yeah, we see years ago, Sam, when we bought our own for 25, 28 bucks a pair, that was important to put a toe plate on. Now when you got a shoe contract, you get 10, 12 pair a year. You could care less if you wear one out.
He joined us late. Anthony Blackman, the leadoff hitter and starting center fielder for Oklahoma State, was suspended by the NCAA for 2 games because of an obscene gesture made to the fans following the conclusion of the Mid-East Regional. Blackman had been really frustrated, been the target of alleged racial words that were hurled at him throughout the tournament, and a lot of frustration for the young man. Just an unfortunate incident all the way around.
And we point up again, no reflection on the program in Mississippi State or the fine fans in Starkville, Mississippi, because we've been there and they've got great fans. That was just an isolated incident that got too much publicity, unfortunately.
Fastball hit on the ground to second. Esme. Dyson in the side retired. 1-2-3 inning for Linty Ingram. 5 innings complete in Game 1 of the College World Series. Arizona State and Oklahoma State tied 2-2.
You're looking at Pat Hope, the sophomore right-hander, and there's a look at what he has done through the first 5 innings. Good-looking numbers. A few too many pitches, but high percentage of strikes. And only 1 earned run, struck out 5, walked 2. And had he been over to cover first base, he'd be leading this ball game, Sam.
Good point. Go to the top half of the 6th inning, tied 2-2 in a good pitcher's ball game. 2 right-handers, Ingram and Hope, hooked up in a good one. Tim Spear, the catcher for Arizona State, leads it off. That's the breaking ball.
Should point out, we've talked a lot about numbers of pitches, and a lot of talk about overusing college pitchers. From a pitcher standpoint, I can tell you it's not necessarily the number that is indicative of the strain on the arm, because oftentimes you can be in a good groove. This is true with anything: swinging a golf club, shooting a basketball, bowling. You're in a good groove, you have the feeling you can do it all day. When you're out there struggling, you might throw 25 pitches and take the same toll on your arm.
Count is 2-1 on Tim Spear. Spear walked, stole a base, moved up on an infield out, and scored on an infield single back in the 2nd inning, then grounded out to leave 2 runners aboard in the 3rd. Ahead on the count. Spears had a good year, 2nd on the team in hitting, batting .331. Taps that one foul.
He's been a sharp player all year, hasn't he, Sam? Spear?
Yeah.
Spear?
I knew you'd get me on that one. Pat Hope. Full count pitch. Pop foul back high and into the stands. Crowd filing in here in the first session of the 1987 College World Series. This is a double elimination tournament, and the last year they will use this format. Next year they will go to a 2-division double elimination and play down to 1 championship game. 8 teams will be put into 2 brackets. They'll be seeded, and they'll play down with the winners in the double elimination brackets to meet for a single championship game. Ball 4 to Spear. Now, the walks earlier in the game have hurt Pat Hope. Walked the batter in the first inning. That man came around to score. That was Esme. Walked Spear in the second. He came in to score. And now Spear opens to the 6th inning with a walk. And here's the left fielder, Mike Barola. Ventura and Berrigan looking for a bunt at 3rd and 1st. Barola looking down for the signs from the third base coach, Jeff Pentland. Barola swinging away. Bean Blossom bobbles it. The throw to first, not in time. In his anxiety to go for 2, Bean Blossom didn't play it cleanly, and it's an error.
Well, you're exactly right. It was his anxiety to get 2, Sam. He gets over in position, and the ball kind of climbs up his leg right there. But it's too late now to get the out at first, and that's a costly mistake right there. Gives the Arizona State Sun Devils something going here toward the bottom of their order.
And a good bunter, and Bob Dombrowski up with 2 men on, nobody out. Dombrowski squares, takes it outside. Now let's see what Oklahoma State does with Ventura. He broke in a little bit. Dombrowski's job is to bunt that ball up the third baseline.
Gary Ward he's given him the entire left side of the infield. You see it right there. Ventura almost locked onto third base. And Ferris way over towards second.
Fastball bunted up the third base line. Ventura plays it just in time.
Ventura hesitated, thinking about letting it roll foul, then played it with a bare hand pickup and just got Dombrowski.
That was a courageous play by Ventura and quick thinking, because right here there's a shot this ball might roll foul. But Ventura elects to pick it up barehanded. Now watch how close this play is. Wow. Quick thinking by Robin Ventura.
Now right here I think he's thinking let it go, and then he plays it.
Well, I noticed pre-game practice watching a lot of the bunts roll down the lines. They were hanging on that line. They were not rolling foul like they do in a lot of stadiums where the infield appears to be sloped away from the pitching mound.
Marv Rockman warming up in the bullpen for Oklahoma State. Tom Holliday, the pitching coach, has gone out to the mound. And again, a walk getting Hope in trouble, but also that error by the second baseman. So Arizona State with runners at 2nd and 3rd, 1 man out here in the top half of the 6th inning.
And you saw that shot of Rockman. He has been a rock for this Cowboy pitching staff. He's 11-0, all in relief.
Runners at 2nd and 3rd. Berrigan, the first baseman, and Ventura, the third baseman, are playing even with a bag. Shortstop and second baseman are back deep. There you see him. John Finn, the center fielder, had an infield hit to drive in a run in the 2nd inning. Fly to center his last time. Swings at a fastball. 2-2 the score. We're in the top half of the 6th inning. But Arizona State threatening to take the lead again. It led 1-0 and 2-1.
On the ground slowly to second. Bean Blossom charges and juggles, doesn't have him. Again, Bean Blossom had a charge because of the speed of John Finn. And it's an infield single. A run is in, and Arizona State takes a 3-2 lead.
Well, an example of Gary Ward's confidence, I think, in his offense, because you see where Bean Blossom's playing. With men on 2nd and 3rd and 1 out, we're in the 6th inning. He had his infield playing back, giving the run up. Had Bean Blossom been playing, of course, in, that would have been an easy an easy out, possibly even a play at the plate. But he's got a lot of confidence in his offense to score 5 or 6 runs a game. They average over 7.
So Arizona State takes the lead. Finn has legged out 2 infield singles and driven in 2 runs in the game. Finn is going. The pitch is foul back on the hit and run. Mike Benjamin, the leadoff man. He's got 18 home runs this season. He's 0 for 3 thus far in the ball game.
Excuse me, Sam. I think most any other team in this College World Series in that same situation probably would have had their infield in at the edge of the grass to try to cut that run down at the plate.
Finn is going. The pitch out. Smith throws down. They've got him. Beautiful throw by Adam Smith. Well, they had the pitch out. Smith took a look at Barola and then fired down to second to get Finn.
Well, that's great execution right there. You see Finn in your picture. Adam Smith. We're just ISO'd right there on Finn. Now we see Smith step out of the catcher's box, move up to kind of cheat a little bit, be able to make a shorter throw, puts it right on the money.
Down is 2-1 on Mike Benjamin. Got the inside corner.
See what a catcher will do on that pitch out. He moves out and up to be able to shorten the angle just a little bit. Smith did a great job of that.
Big play. There are 2 men out now and a runner at third as Pat Hope tries to work out of the jam without any more damage. Arizona State leading 3-2. We're in the top half of the 6th inning. Tap foul.
Well, you pointed it out. 3 leadoff walks. Well, the one in the first inning was not a leadoff walk, but in the second it was. 3 walks by Pat Hope, and all of them have scored. Walks and errors.
2-2 to Benjamin. Fastball misses. Mike Benjamin came into the game with an 8-game hitting streak. He was outstanding in the West 2 Regional, the MVP of the tournament. Got him. So Hope works out of it. The side's retired, but Arizona State scores a run to take the lead, 3-2. John Finn getting an infield single to drive in the go-ahead run.
Well, we showed you Pat Hope's numbers. Now there, as you look at Linty Ingram, that's what he's done through the first 5 innings. 85 pitches, high percentage of strikes. But as I pointed out, you can do anything you want to with the numbers. But both these guys have really settled down after the first 2 innings. Much better rhythm. Ingram's getting that breaking ball over. There's a look at the hits and the runs. And not a lot of strikeouts. But he keeps the hitters off balance with that variety of breaking balls and the deception and throwing from the different angles.
And he's done a good job controlling Ventura and Iflin, numbers 3 and 4 in the order for Oklahoma State.
And that's what Brock was concerned about. He said if Ingram can have his sharp control and neutralize those left-hand hitters, he's got a chance.
Once again, Oklahoma State will have to come from behind. They scored a run in the bottom of the first to tie it, and a run in the bottom of the third to tie it. Arizona State leading 3-2. The freshman Brad Beanblossom has been aboard both times up. On the ground down the third base line, just foul. Beanblossom with outstanding speed. Had that been fair, would have legged it into a double easily. Beanblossom walked and scored in the first inning. Singled and stole a base in the third. Breaking ball misses. They're fighting to get the scoreboard back. There are drips and drabs of numbers up on the scoreboard. It's been out most of the game. Ingram, curveball hit high and deep to left field. Way back there. That ball is gone. A home run for Brad Beanblossom to tie it at 3-3. Well, some power by the freshman second baseman. Only the second home run of the year for Brad Beanblossom.
Well, and as you see him get some congratulations from his teammates, he atoned for that costly error. Look at his swing. He's developed into a good breaking ball hitter, and that ball was down, as you see the swing right there, down in the strike zone. And he showed us some unusual power.
Back to the live action. motion, and Ray Ortiz grounds a single into right field. So a leadoff home run, and Ray Ortiz with a ground ball single.
Here's a look again at the home run pitch. Now that pitch, even though it's about belt high, the pitchers would call that a hanging curve. For a breaking ball, that's too high in the strike zone. And as Gary Ward pointed out, Bean Blossom has developed into a good breaking ball hitter.
It's kind of a slow break on that pitch, and Bean Blossom had time to go down and get it. So Ortiz at first now, with Robin Ventura hitless thus far in the game.
That pitch didn't have the bite to it, Sam, and since we've talked a lot about numbers of pitches, that's what will take its toll on a breaking ball pitcher. You throw a lot of pitches, you lose the snap and the sharpness on the curve.
Curveball bunted foul. Ventura grounded into a double play in the first inning with a run scoring. Now up with a runner at first, nobody out. His second time up, he fly to left field. Sent Barola back to the warning track. Ventura's got a good eye. He's walked 61 times, 108 hits this season. Fastball up and away. Tough spot now for Lenty Ingram. The big bats up for Oklahoma State. Good fastball. Ortiz at first, not a threat to run. He's stolen only one base in 2 tries. They'll let Ventura swing away. The man who leads the team in doubles with 23 has 21 home runs as well. 1-2. Missed with a fastball.
I love those close-up shots of Ingram standing on the mound taking the sign. You see a lot of concentration in his eyes. Sometimes, you know, you walk out to the mound, you can see the fear in a pitcher's eyes. You can almost, he'll tell you with his eyes, I want the ball or I don't want it. You see some concentration right there.
2-2 to Robin Ventura. Hit hard to right field. Going over. There's the right field. Couldn't play it. Rumsey. On the third goes Diaz. And Robin Ventura is now hit in 57 straight games to keep the record hitting streak alive and go past that magical number of Joe DiMaggio of 56.
There's a look at the swing. Short, compact. Rumsey cuts it off. But these left-hand hitters from Oklahoma State are going to give Ingram a little tougher time this third time around.
Bill Stevenson held the previous record, 48. Dub Kilgo, the pitching coach, takes a walk out to the mound to talk with his right-hander, and they will go with Ingram as long as they can. And this is not a deep pitching staff for Arizona State, and several pitchers haven't been used all that much. In fact, they've had 8 complete games in the last 9 for Arizona State. So Lenty Ingram is a guy that's likely to work as long as they stay in the ball game. Talk about the hitting streaks of Robin Ventura and the all-time hitting streaks. Minor league, Joe Wilhoit in 1969. Robin Ventura 57 here in college baseball, and Joe DiMaggio, of course, in the major leagues in 1941 with a record of 56. And one thing, as you pointed out about Ventura downplaying the hitting streak, when they say, what about Joe DiMaggio? He says, it's not the same.
He understands. We're talking college baseball. We're talking big league. I think actually DiMaggio had a 61 gamer in the minor leagues himself.
Runners at first and third. Nobody out for Oklahoma State. Score tied 3-3. Jimmy Iflin, the designated hitter, steps in.
Iflin is 0 for 2. Oklahoma State threatening to take the lead for the first time in the game. The slow curve stays up. There's no bullpen action for Arizona State. Ingram is the man. And now they're starting to move down. And we're going to get somebody go down to the bullpen.
Fastball hit in the air to left field. Mike Barola
Has it. Runner Ortiz at third tags and heads for the plate. Throw is cut off, and Arizona State trails for the first time now. The Cowboys of Oklahoma State with 2 runs here in the bottom of the 6th have taken a 4-3 lead.
It looked like Ortiz left third base awfully early, but I see no appeal on the part of Arizona State. And we're going to get a chance to look at it right here. There you see Ortiz. Now watch when Barola catches the ball. See if he leaves a little early. No, right on time.
Jimmy Berrigan got a base hit his last time up. Runner at first, 1 man out. Ventura is another man who's pretty selective. When he runs, he's 16 for 16. Good base stealer. Curveball stays outside. Tim Brando down the third base side. What's going on down on the field?
All right, Sam, thank you. Lenny Ingram does not have the same command of his pitches, according to Jim Brock. He told me that while Dub Kilgo was out talking with him. That's why you see all of the action now down in the Arizona State bullpen coming up.
Curveball foul down in the Arizona State dugout. Count is 1-1 on Jimmy Berrigan. There's Jim Brock looking out at Linty Ingram.
We got Matt Shiflett, a right-hander. Both right-handers. Blas Minor is the other one that is warming up in the Arizona State bullpen. And I think once again points out why Gary Ward played his defense back when the Sun Devils were hitting. He had confidence in this offense to score some more runs.
Fastball misses outside. Count is 2-1, and now a good hitter's pitch for Berrigan. Let's see if Gary Ward has Robin Ventura running from first base. Ventura has a short lead. Doesn't go. Curveball hit hard, base hit right field. Ventura holds at second as Rumsey gets the ball in. 3 hits in the inning for Oklahoma State. The home run by Bean Blossom make it 4 hits in the inning. Home run by Bean Blossom, single by Ortiz, single by Ventura, now Berrigan with a single.
You've heard the expression over the years when a pitcher begins to get hit late in the game, they say, well, he must have been getting tired. But see, when you go through the batting order 3 times, and now these guys that are good college hitters have seen that breaking ball from Ingram time after time, he has got to get sharper with it the longer the game goes, or he's going to have the kind of results he's having this inning.
Arizona State playing the infield looking for 2. Fastball on the inside corner. Good fastball by Ingram. Monty Ferris. Well, he was hitting some shots out of the ballpark in batting practice. 23 home runs. 74 RBIs this season. At the knees. Ferris thought it was low. He's got those high knees. He's 6'6".
Big target.
Good movement on that pitch, though.
Yeah, they have him listed in the press guide at 6'4", and our graphic earlier showed that. But Gary Ward actually told us that he is 6'6".
Ingram ahead of Ferris. 2 strikes. No balls. Got him on the outside corner with a good fastball.
That's good pitcher's pitch, and Roundtree has been giving the pitchers that part of the zone all night long. So hitters, you see right there, it's borderline. But I mentioned Ed Runge earlier in the telecast. He had the philosophy, make the hitter swing the bat. They know what my strike zone is. They know I'm going to be liberal. Now when you get into the 6th inning, no excuse for taking a close pitch.
Ferris, who leads Oklahoma State with 62 strikeouts, goes down looking, and here is the catcher, Adam Smith. 2 on, 2 outs for Oklahoma State. 2 runs in the bottom of the 6th. Oklahoma State leading 4-3. Curveball up high. Smith with 75 RBIs this season.
You see Esme back on the grass there at second base. They're really playing the left-hand hitter Smith deep.
Fastball now low. Adam Smith. Missed outside. Being very careful to the left-handed hitter Adam Smith with the right-handed batter Benny Castillo on deck. And though Castillo did have a line drive double earlier in the ball game, Ingram might want to pitch to him sooner than give Smith anything good to hit. Good fastball. Pitch. Fastball on the ground, left side. Nice play by Benjamin. The throw to second. He threw it away. One run is in. Around third, and holding is Berrigan. And a costly error for Arizona State. Esme did not get to the bag to cover. Benjamin, an outstanding play, keeping the ball in the infield. But Esme failed to cover. A mental mistake. And Oklahoma State has a 5-3 lead.
Well, Sam, in fairness to Esme, we talked about how deep he was playing Adam Smith and much shaded way around to pull. I see he just comes into your picture right there. He had a long way to run to get to second base, and I really think on that particular play, Mike Benjamin would have been much better off just holding the ball. Very low chance of making the out at second.
Benny Castillo with runners at second and third, 2 men out, 3 runs in for Oklahoma State, leading 5-3. Hit in the air, high and deep to center field. Finn going back, but he's there and makes the catch. Oklahoma State bats come alive. They get 4 hits, including a home run. Gary Ward's team has a 5-3 lead, heading for the 7th inning.
In the 1984 College World Series, catcher Don Wakamatsu batted 6th in an Arizona State lineup that featured 3 current major leaguers. Wakamatsu outshined them all in Game 3 when he came to the plate against Miami's Rob Souza in the bottom of the 8th, and the score tied.
Long drive left field. Lane to the warning track to the wall. It's gone.
Yes, sir.
One of the many fine players who played for Jim Brock, who has coached Arizona State for 16 years and perhaps has done his best coaching job this year with his team of players who aren't tremendous prospects, pro prospects, but really have worked hard. Tim Brando down side of the dugout. What's going on?
Well, as you might recall, they were concerned about Hope. And I talked just moments ago with Tom Holliday, the pitching coach. If he has a problem so far in this game, it's with the left-handers of Arizona State. He may go with his left-handed reliever Mike Gardella in a pinch. And then, of course, Marv Rockman down the stretch.
Pat Hope, in his 16th start, 22 appearances this season, has pitched 10 complete games. Another guy, though, as Tim mentioned, they might use Rockman and Gardella in a tough situation, but they'll go with Hope as long as he can go. On the ground to short, Ferris takes it and throws out Tim Esme, leading off the 7th inning. That play on the ground ball hit by Castillo that Benjamin fielded was ruled a hit and an error, a single and an error.
He'd get a look at a guy at 6'6" playing shortstop. You practically hand that ball over to Jimmy Berrigan.
Ted Dyson has 2 hits in the ball games. Hit the ball well his last 2 times up. Single to right, single to center. Took a little off that pitch.
Good changeup as he's used throughout the game. Just because a guy has the kind of size that Ferris does doesn't mean he's got that strong arm. And a lot of the little guys with that quick release and arm speed get it over there quicker.
Big Monty Ferris. Some of the scouts have talked about that arm. Sharp curveball in the dirt. They want to see him use it a little more. Fire that ball. Has that easy toss over.
I get a little cynical, I guess, when I hear those kind of things, Sam, because they got all the reports on these guys, but the bottom line is, and I've heard Whitey Herzog say this before, put them out there and let them play and let them prove whether they can or can't play. Don't make judgments on them ahead of time.
Struck out Dyson on a 1-2 fastball. 6 strikeouts for Pat Hope. 2 men down here in the top of the 7th inning.
Up in the strike zone where you like to pitch the left-hand power hitters, and that's exactly what Hope did.
Shadows are starting to creep out on the field. The sun has been peeking in and out of the clouds and could be affecting the hitters here late in the ball game. We're in the top half of the 7th inning. Cleanup hitter Dan Rumsey, the right fielder, swinging at the first pitch. 5 runs, 8 hits, 2 errors for Oklahoma State. 3 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors for Arizona State. Good pitch.
Now you want to know, Sam, I've talked a lot about pitching the left-hand hitters high. You want to know why you pitch left-hand hitters high and why they can handle it. See where that bat is right there, straight up and down. Much easier to drop the barrel of that bat on the low pitch, but you got to be much quicker to get the hit of the bat out to handle the high pitch. Therefore, you pitch them high and tight and low and away.
Good theory.
If our arms were attached to our knees now, then you pitch them down and in and up and away.
Well, why doesn't the same theory work for right-handed batters?
Right-handers will see some of them, but for the most part, they carry the bat a little flatter.
Popped foul off the third base side. Ventura goes over, leaps toward the stands, and didn't make it. Went into the first row, and Ventura might have gotten shaken up a little bit. He dove on top of the tarpaulin. Dangerous move by Ventura, but what a try.
Well, you see the effort right here. Talked about this young man's desire to win a championship over and above that hitting streak. Wow. It's dangerous and courageous, but he came out of it in good shape.
Count is 0-2 on Dan Rumsey with 2 men out here in the top half of the 7th inning.
No, right-handers, just to follow through on that, over the years they have carried the bat in a more flat position, laid it on their shoulder. However, that's one reason there are more good right-hand low ball hitters today. They carry it more up and down.
Pop foul, out of play.
And the lighter bats.
All right, good catch. Tucked the pen away between the teeth and made the play.
Trying to see who he's pulling for there on the emblem of the cap.
It's like Oklahoma State.
A lot of Cowboy fans here.
Rumsey, 326 hitter for the season. Changeup, he just got a piece of it. Hope with a good changeup. When we talked about the bats, that for Oklahoma State, that gets all the attention. The big batting averages, the hitting streak of Robin Ventura. But this right-hander on the mound, Pat Hope, is pitching a good ball game. Has allowed 6 hits. The walks have hurt him. He's walked 3 men, and each of those men have come around to score. Fastball on the ground is short. Ferris to Berrigan. 1-2-3 in the 7th inning. The Cowboys of Oklahoma State head for the dugout with a 5-3 lead going to the bottom of the 7th. Pat Hope setting down Arizona State. Oklahoma State has come back 3 times in this ball game. Leads 5-3 going to the bottom of the 7th. Bean Blossom, that home run, got him going for the 3-run 6th inning. And you're having a good time at the ballpark. Nice day, temperature in the upper 70s. Good time here at the NCAA College World Series. Second game will follow a trip to Sports Center as Florida State, runner-up last year to Arizona, will take on LSU. Good matchup. Richie Lewis, All-America right-hander, will pitch for Florida State. Greg Patterson, the fine left-hander, will go for LSU. In fact, the All-America teams announced today. Robin Ventura playing in this game, the All-America third baseman. Jim Iflin is the All-America DH. Good fastball. Mick Ward, the center fielder, steps in. Number 9 hitter.
Kurt Krippner of Texas, Derek Lilliquist of Georgia, the first-team All-America pitchers, along with Mike Remlinger of Dartmouth.
Changeup on the ground at third. Dombrowski handles it easily, fires across. Dyson
and Ward is retired.
Important inning for Ingram, because if he's going to stay in this ball game and keep the Sun Devils in the game, he had a lengthy sixth inning, threw a lot of pitches, faced 8 men. Got to come back with a productive and effective inning right here if he's going to stay in this game.
Here's Brad Beanblossom. Walked and scored in the first inning, singled in the third, and then led off the 6th inning with a home run. Got the Cowboys off to a 3-run inning.
I got a misprint in my All-American team somewhere, or a missing name. Mike Fiore from Miami.
That's right.
Not on either of the first 3 teams. That must be a mistake. There's
Hard
a guy
to believe.
hit 400 and struck out 10 times all year. If that's not All-American stats, I don't know what is.
Outstanding ball player, Mike Fiore. And hard to believe that he was overlooked for All-America honors. So there are some fine ball players. Ted Wood of New Orleans, first-team All-America. Ricardo Ingram of Georgia Tech. Tim Raley of Wichita State. Martise Robinson, who led the nation in hitting with a .529 batting average from Seton Hall, the All-America first baseman. 2-1 the count on Brad Beanblossom. We're in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Oklahoma State leading Arizona State 5-3. Game 1 of the College World Series. Tomorrow, in the completion of the first round, Texas will play Arkansas, arch rivals in the Southwest Conference. And Kurt Krippner might start, though Kevin Garner, the left-hander, has beaten Arkansas twice this season, might start that game. Cliff Gustafson will have to make that decision.
Ground ball off the glove of the pitcher Ingram. Benjamin with a tough play, throws high, and the runner's safe.
Had a chance to get him, but the throw was high.
Good reaction by Benjamin right there. Toughest thing to do. You got all your speed and your weight going towards second base. Now watch, he's got to stop, backhand the ball. He does have plenty of time, though. Once he made the play by catching the ball, he should have made could have made an accurate throw. The tough part was to get his body on balance. He did that. And another error for Arizona State.
Their third in the ball game. Beanblossom with good speed is on at first with 1 man out. And Ray Ortiz, the left fielder, takes a strike on the outside corner. Good pitch. Ortiz singled and scored his last time up. Ground ball single following the home run. Went to third on a single by Robin Ventura, who kept his record hitting streak going. 57 straight. Pitch out. Beanblossom wasn't going. Freshman Ray Ortiz coming in from California, really helping out the outfield situation for Oklahoma State. Powerful guy, has hit 18 home runs. Castillo in right field, a junior college transfer. And Anthony Blackman, who's suspended, has come on and had a good year in center field. Jim Brock looking closely, and Linty Ingram way outside with that pitch.
Now this would be the pitch right here. 2 balls and a strike. Gary Ward knows Ingram has got to come in the strike zone. Doesn't want to fall behind Ortiz with Ventura coming up.
And the other problem for Jim Brock is he has no left-handed pitchers to face these left-handed batters of Oklahoma State.
Runner goes. Pitch is popped up. Down the left field side, Mike Barola moves over and makes the catch. One man out.
Good job, Lenny.
Make it 2 men out, excuse me. Here in the bottom half of the 7th inning.
Down there somewhere now.
And here is Robin Ventura. They got him his first 2 times, then he ripped a line drive into right field for a base hit to keep that hitting streak alive. Closest he came to having it stopped was in the Big 8 conference tournament when he got a base hit in the 11th inning in the game against Oklahoma. calm.
He really does.
Not phased at all by the situation. Ingram knows that Bean Blossom has good speed at first. Almost a quick pitch by Ingram that time. Didn't pause too long at the belt.
Good point. He does a good job of varying his count. Like you said, he delivered quickly. See, stands very erect. Doesn't have much flex in the legs. That means it's going to take him a little longer to deliver the ball to home plate. He does a good job of mixing up his, you see right there, the quick move to first. Now he may get the ball and hold it for 4 or 5 seconds. That's what it looks like to Bean Blossom.
Fake's going. Hit in the air to right center. That's going to go through to the wall. Bean Blossom on his way to third. He's being waved in. Bean Blossom heads for the plate and scores on a stand-up double by Robin Ventura. And the hitting machine comes through again for Gary Ward and the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Ventura with his 108th RBI of the season. And hasn't Bean Blossom had a good game?
There's that rhythmic swing. Likes that ball down in the strike zone. And there's the end of the play. Finn shags it down in center field. Hits the cutoff man, but the Cowboys get another run easily.
Now Ventura at second with 2 men out. Eflin hits it up the middle, stabbed by Ingram, and the side's retired. But Robin Ventura, the outstanding hitter for Oklahoma State, comes through with a 2-out double to drive in a run to give Oklahoma State a 6-3 lead.
The chance to become college baseball's national champion. ESPN's World Series coverage from Omaha continues with an exclusive doubleheader Saturday at 4 Eastern live on ESPN.
Pat Hope's numbers through 7 innings. And if you joined us late, Sam and I discussed before the ball game, if Oklahoma State is going to have a shot at winning the College World Series, they need some pitching production. They've got the offense, and here's a guy that's come to the front. In the regional tournament, 3 appearances, 2-0, 2 complete games with a save. And here he is today, 6 outs away from giving his team their first win in the College World Series of '87.
Well, if he can hold on for the win, it's likely Jimmy Long would start the game on Monday. Oklahoma State would go into the winner's bracket if they can win this game.
Tony Mattia, the DH, pops it high in the air to short center field. Farris goes out and calls and makes the catch. Good range by the shortstop. Farris getting back there nicely. We talked about Farris as a shortstop, and scouts talking about him maybe looking at him as an outfielder, as a pro prospect. And he went back nicely on that ball. We're in the top half of the 8th inning, with Oklahoma State leading 6-3. Errors have hurt Arizona State. 3 unearned runs. On the ground, down the third base line. Nice play by Ventura. And he throws him out as Berrigan scoops it out of the dirt. Beautiful play all around.
Boy, there's 2 guys that are known for their hitting, and deservedly so. Don't talk too much about their defense. Look at this play right here. This is if you were sitting down in the left field corner. It's like a Greg Nettles kind of play right there. We've seen him make a lot of those. You see that little rhythm in his stance, gets a good jump on the ball, and now almost throws without setting himself. Now Berrigan finishes it off with a great pick on a tough short hop.
He's a good first baseman. He's got a fine glove. 2 men out here in the top half of the 8th inning. Mike Barola, the left fielder, misses the pitch off the outside corner. Tim Spear, the catcher, robbed of a base hit on the fine play by Robin Ventura. Count is 1-2. In 1981, Arizona State and Oklahoma State met in the College World Series final. And Arizona State won it 7-4. Breaking ball on the ground to second. Bean Blossom to first, and the side's retired as he just got Barola.
Fine fielding play by Robin Ventura. We go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Oklahoma State leads it 6-3.
The sports stars of tomorrow are doing their best today in America's high schools. Every Saturday, ESPN Scholastic Sports America looks at the record setters, the scholar athletes, the outstanding teams, players, and coaches. It's the one and only weekly program featuring high school athletes from all across the country doing their best. Join Chris Fowler every Saturday at 6:30 Eastern for Scholastic Sports America on ESPN. There's just one place you need to go for all the names and games making sports news. ESPN Sports Center. 3 times every day, Chris Berman and Dale Gardner bring you the latest scores, the hottest trades, and the top plays from the world of sports. Sports Center takes you on the road with live remotes from major events like the World Series and the Indy 500. Sports Center, your total source for sports, only on the Total Sports Network, ESPN.
ESPN's live presentation of the 1987 NCAA College World Series has been brought to you by Wilson Sporting Goods Company. Where there's a will, there's Wilson. By Bud Light, the light beer with the first name and taste. Everything else is just a light. And by Guardian Brakes, the quality line of brake parts and hardware for your American or imported car.
And a good crowd on hand for the opening of the 1987 NCAA College World Series. Bottom of the 8th, Jimmy Berrigan leads it off, takes the ball. Berrigan, a fine play at first base. He's got good hands. He's not big for a first baseman. Stands around 5'10", but he's got good range, as we saw earlier. He's got good hands, good defensive player.
Well, Ingram's really pitched a gutty ball game. Here we are in the bottom of the 8th inning. His teammates have made a few errors behind him, but he's given up 3 earned runs, and he has just hung right in there.
Changeup hit high and deep to right field. Not as deep as it started out. Wind holds it up, and the right fielder Rumsey puts it away.
Again, that aluminum bat tricked me, Jim. Sounded good off the bat.
It is deceptive.
Berrigan heads back to the dugout. He'd had 2 hits, singles in his last 2 times up. And the shortstop, Monty Ferris, steps in. Bottom half of the 8th inning. We mentioned Oklahoma State capitalizing on errors by Arizona State. 3 errors, 3 unearned runs. Off Linty Ingram, good fastball.
And he went around. Strike is called.
I really thought Tony Kubek made an excellent point. I'd not given it much thought here a couple weeks ago. You talk about the free swingers, and with that metal bat, and it's so light, you see more hitters today just free swingers, not trying to meet the ball, but trying to get the head out, swing it with some authority, and that's why more strikeouts, more home runs.
Curveball in on the ground. Benjamin off his glove, and Ferris is on. Would have been a tough play.
Benjamin tried to backhand it, rolled up his arm, and Ferris is safe.
Once again, you see every fielder has that little rhythm they get into. Mike Benjamin there got to the ball, but it took that hop at the end and hit him up on the wrist.
It's ruled a base hit. As the official scorer gives Mike Benjamin a break.
Curveball to Adam Smith is a strike. 1 on and 1 out.
He did the proper thing over there. The saying is 9 out of 10 go under. You want to get your glove low enough and then be able to come up. He just did not get the glove up.
Though it's ruled a hit, Jim, you know, if I'm a pitcher, I think that ball should have been played. And now it should have been made. It's a tough play, but it's one that should be made.
I agree.
Fastball line to right center field. Over goes Rumsey. Can't make the play. It rolls to the wall. Ferris on his way to third. Ferris being waved in. He'll score. On his way to third is Smith, and he's in there with a triple. And Oklahoma State now leads it 7-3. A triple for Adam Smith. Rumsey made the diving effort, but it went past him to the wall.
Well, late in the ball game, their left-hand hitters coming to the front. Right there you see Rumsey, who is a fine outfielder, but that ball had a very heavy sinking spin to it. Kind of like a knuckleball. It's hit so hard by Smith, and no way Rumsey could get over there.
Infield in with one man out and a runner at third, and the right fielder Benny Castillo steps in. Castillo doubled and scored back in the third inning. Oklahoma State trailed 3 times in the ball game. They now lead 7-3 with 11 hits. Combining the good hitting with the fine pitching of Pat Hope.
Well, and Brock has his infield in right now. He can't afford to give up another run.
Curveball hit hard, a base hit to left center field. Smith scores as Benny Castillo holds with his second hit of the ball game. An RBI for Castillo, and Oklahoma State with an 8-3 lead. And the bullpen is being checked out now.
Well, and you'll see the breaking ball here that hangs high in the strike zone, and I think it's pretty obvious to everyone watching this ball game. You see Benny Castillo rip at the left center. That Linty Ingram has reached the point here in the 8th inning as we look at the Sun Devil bullpen, where he just does not have the snap on that breaking ball that he did earlier in the ball game.
Bud Kilgo, the pitching coach, is out to the mound and making a pitching change. Blas Minor will come in to replace Linty Ingram here in the 8th inning. Junior right-hander Blas Minor, 6'2", 190 pounds, out of Winton, California, comes on, making his 20th appearance, 16th in relief, has a 2-1 record, replacing Linty Ingram here in the bottom half of the 8th inning with one man out, a runner at first. Minor, 68 hits in 56 innings. Linty Ingram went 7 1/3 innings through 132 pitches. Allowed 12 hits, 8 runs, 5 of them earned, plus a runner on base. That is charged to him. Struck out 3 and walked 1, but was victimized by what I thought was poor fielding by Arizona State.
Yeah, they put him in a hole a couple of times defensively.
Castillo, the runner at first. Sorry, Jim.
Even a couple, as you mentioned, the ball to Benjamin that was scored a hit could have been handled.
Mick Ward, the number 9 hitter, at the plate. Fastball on the outside corner. Minor throws hard.
I think this game points out, Sam, Jim Brock's necessity really to stay with his starting pitchers. Has not gotten much production out of the bullpen. He had to go with Ingram much longer than he would have liked to had he had a couple of guys, a couple stoppers down there in the pen.
Game 2 tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Florida State and LSU, a real good matchup. Florida State winners of the Atlantic Regional, and LSU coming out of the South 2 Regional in New Orleans, which was a real good one. Good breaking ball. Minor ahead of Mick Ward, 0-2. Oklahoma State, 3 runs in the 6th, 1 in the 7th, and coming up with another run here. They get 2 runs here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Fastball misses.
Minor's got a good fastball and an above average breaking ball. It pointed out on the graphics there his hits allowed, but he doesn't walk many people. So even though he gives up more hits per inning, he has good control. He's just walked 15.
1-2 pitch, curveball on the ground. Benjamin at short to Esme for 1 on the first, not in time. Get the lead man, 2 men down. They're in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Ward has got good speed, and it'd be tough to turn the double play.
As you look at it as if you were sitting in the first base stands right here, you see what it looks like to Esme trying to unload that double play with Benny Castillo bearing down on him. No chance for 2.
Here's the leadoff man, Brad Beanblossom, who scored 3 runs in the ball game and had a real important home run in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Sort of woke up the bats of Oklahoma State at that point. They were down 3-2. Takes a fastball for a strike. Blas Minor was drafted by the Phillies in January of 1986. Pitched 2 years at Merced Junior College in Merced, California. This is his first year at Oklahoma State. excuse me, at Arizona State.
Runner goes, pitch is taken, the throw down by Spear, hit the runner and bounces into center field. That throw seemed to tail and bounce off the runner, Mick Ward. It's a stolen base for Ward.
Now they're going to run out and check Mick Ward, see how he is. That ball hit him, appeared to hit him in the back. Right here we'll get a look at it as Minor delivers. Spear, quick release. You see right there, hit him right in the back. Ball, as you said, had a little tail to it right at the end. And that normally comes from when a player opens up his body too quickly, which is exactly what Spear did with the quick release. Didn't keep that front shoulder closed in like you have to do when you're hitting as well as throwing. Ball loses speed right at the end.
Ward 5 for 5 in stolen base tries this season. Curveball on the outside corner. Good pitch by Blas Minor. Count is 1-2 on Brad Beanblossom.
You mentioned his home run. That was a key hit because he had made an error in the top half of that inning to give Arizona State the lead. Came right back and led off that inning, atoned for the error, got his ball club back in the game.
And the bats came alive. Ortiz had a single. Ventura had a single. Berrigan.
Fastball on the hand, slow roller to third. Dombrowski on the tough hop makes the play. Oklahoma State comes up with 2 more in the bottom half of the 8th inning. We go to the 9th with Oklahoma State leading. The Cowboys trying to advance. Arizona State a long way to come back.
Some things that don't show up in the box score, but very important in the game. It was 3-2, Arizona State leading in the 6th inning. Runners at first and third. A pitch out called for. The speed of John Finn. He'd stolen the base earlier, but Adam Smith throws him out. Takes Arizona State out of a big inning, and Oklahoma State comes back to take the lead.
That's right. They would have had second and third with 1 out and a 3-2 lead. Top of their batting order coming up. Big play by the Cowboys.
Third baseman Bob Dombrowski leads off in the top half of the 9th inning against Pat Hope, who's gone all the way and pitched a fine ball game. Allowed only 6 hits. He's walked 3, and all those 3 men came around to score. Looking for his 11th complete game of the season. Foul back that bangs off the window of the press box and falls down below.
Well, if Pat Hope was from a school that was known for its pitching depth like Louisiana State, we'd have been talking much more about him this ball game than the Oklahoma offense.
He went around, the pitch in the dirt, he's tagged out, and Pat Hope strikes out Bob Dombrowski, his 8th strikeout.
This looked like that changeup. Let's see if it's the changeup or the breaking ball. That's the changeup again.
Did he go around?
The importance of getting ahead of the hitter. Yeah, I think he did.
Oof,
that's tough. He held the wrist back, but the bat came across the front of home plate. John Finn, the center fielder, steps in with 1 man out. Oklahoma State leading 8-3, looking to advance to the winner's bracket in the winner's game Monday night. Arizona State would go into the loser's game and play Sunday.
Boy, it's easy to see how a guy like Pat Hope is so durable and can probably come back in a couple of days and pitch again. First of all, with that size, the easy motion, throws with very little effort. You can see even in the 9th inning here, he's not laboring at all. He's just like he's out there throwing batting practice.
Popped up off the third base side. Robin Ventura in the coach's box. Makes the play, 2 men down.
Not only that, Jim, he really seems like a smart pitcher. He doesn't try to overpower anybody. He's a big guy. He's got a good body. He might think, well, I'm going to try and impress some people and reach back and throw. But he doesn't overthrow at all.
Good point. He really stays within himself. That's a term that is so often used in all sports, but good example of it today in Pat Hope. Just really throwing with good rhythm.
On the ground, Mike Benjamin hits it to Ferris. Ferris across to Berrigan. The ball game is over. Pat Hope retires the last 10 men in a row. A fine pitching effort for the sophomore right-hander.
Pat Hope as he leads Oklahoma State to a first-round victory. The Cowboys trailed 3 times in the ball game, got the bats going in the 6th inning. Meanwhile, Pat Hope was shutting down Arizona State, and Oklahoma State has won Game 1 of the College World Series 8-3.
Well, Sam, we said if Oklahoma State's going to be a factor, they need production from their pitchers, and no better example. Pat Hope comes out. We've talked about Ventura and Berrigan and all of the Oklahoma State offense and their lack of pitching. And here the guy comes up with his 4th appearance in postseason play. 3 complete games and a save. And he's the big story for Oklahoma State today.
Very satisfying victory for the Cowboys. Only the 2nd time they've ever beaten Arizona State. But they win to go into the winner's bracket. Arizona State heads into the loser's bracket. We'll be back to talk with some of the key players in just a moment. Pat Hope becomes the top winner on the Oklahoma State staff, winning his 12th game of the season, pitching his 11th complete game. Some good hitting. Brad Beanblossom scored 3 runs in the #1 spot of the batting order. Robin Ventura kept his record hitting streak alive, hitting in his 57th consecutive game, and the pitching of Pat Hope shutting down Arizona State. Tim Brando is standing by on the field with a couple of the stars of the game. Let's go to Tim.
All right, Sam, thank you very much. We'll begin with the batsman who continued to streak 57 in a row now in the NCAA for Robin Ventura. Took you a while, though, to get on track against Lenny Ingram. He had some good stuff that appeared early on.
Yeah, he did. He had a good curveball, and he mixed it up pretty well. And first couple times he got me on the ground ball, double play, and then popped up to left. And 3rd time up, I was just looking for something to pull, and he got it up and in. I pulled down the line for base hit.
We're going to take a look now at your 3rd at bat and explain, if you will, your philosophy and Gary Ward's philosophy in the way you attack the ball.
Well, you try and get your legs to where you're balanced, and sometimes I get spread out, and early on when I try and pull the ball, I'm trying to get an inside pitch and go with it, and that's what I was looking for, and I was a little early trying to get that inside pitch, and that's what happened.
I know you feel good about getting a win early because you guys had to get here the hard way coming out of the regional in the losers bracket.
Yeah, we did. We had a tough time with the A&M, and you know, Pat's our best pitcher, and he's going in there throwing a great game like he did today, and we didn't have any problems because he's just such a good pitcher.
All right, the streaky Robin Ventura, thank you. Pat Hope, you scattered 6 hits today, and you started out getting behind against your batters. You really threw a lot of pitches the first 4.5 innings.
Yeah, I threw more pitches than I usually do, and I usually don't walk. You know, I walked 3 guys today, I think, which all 3 of them scored, which I usually don't do, and I had a tough time adjusting to the zone and to the mound out there. That's a lot different mound than I've thrown on all year.
When Smith called for the pitch out, that really turned out to be a big play. You were down a run at that time. They could have had runners at 2nd and 3rd. As you look back, was that the most difficult part of the game for you? And that big play really seemed to spawn better pitching in the last few innings.
Well, that and, you know, Adam threw a good throw down to second base. We got that guy. He runs early. You know, I tried a quick pitch right before then, and then we both decided that he was going to go early. So we threw the pitch out. But by then, I pretty much had the zone figured out, and I was throwing more strikes.
Now, you know, like everyone else, that Oklahoma State has been here 7 times, and the Achilles heel supposedly has always been the pitching staff. Is this the year you turn things around?
We got the good pitching this year. You know, I think Long's going to come in Monday and throw another good game for us, and I'm going to roll back on Thursday, and I'm going to try to throw better than I did tonight. I threw all right tonight, but I walked too many people. You know, I don't like to walk people. And Jimmy's going to come out and throw a good game, and our bullpen is real good. You know, Marv, and I guess we're going to have Pugh coming out of the pen, and Linhart. So I think this is a real good year for us to have a good chance of winning it all.
All right, Pat. Thank you very much, and congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Oklahoma State need not hope for pitching. They got it from Pat today. Let's go back upstairs to Sam and Jim.
Thank you, Tim. We'll be back here at Rosenblatt Stadium in Omaha, Nebraska for a final word on Game 1 of the NCAA College World Series, won by Oklahoma State 8-3. Cowboys of Oklahoma State put it together, got the bats rolling midway through the ball game. Brad Beanblossom woke him up with a leadoff home run in the 6th inning. The man who plays second base, a good-looking freshman, came up with some big hits. Coming up next on ESPN, a trip to Sports Center, and then we come back out to Rosenblatt Stadium for Game 2 of the College World Series. LSU and Florida State. John Sanders and Jim Cott will bring you that game. Beanblossom with a home run, only his 2nd home run of the year, as he did some good stick work.
And Robin Ventura kept the record hitting streak alive. He went 2 for 4. He had a double and an RBI. But he showed some good work with the glove as well, making this fine play behind third base. And Jimmy Berrigan helped him out with a good scoop. But it was Pat Hope on the mound, pitching his 11th complete game of the year, putting Oklahoma State in the winner's bracket. So long, everyone.